He's going to step up in the pocket, looking to throw. He's got a man! Alvin Coleman Jr.
Jeff Harris gets some contact there, going deep left. It's going. And that ball is history.
Shot clock down to 10. They're looking for the alley-oop, but Waylon Newton.
Yeah, with the shot. And what a goal.
Swung on, hit hard. Sam Smith going back. It's out of here.
Don't pull. Get him.
Berlin set Bowie. Gets down for the kill. Courtney Bowie.
Abby Boyd going to take a three. Yes, sir. Robinson finds Disney. Disney inside the box at the top.
Goal! No, it's over! The Crimson Storm have won!
All right, welcome to SNUathletics.com. I'm Connor McKenzie. You have to excuse the blemish on my eye. It was a dreadful ping pong accident the other day. It was just awful. Welcome to my partner here, John Hale. John, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm ready for some SNU football, Connor.
Absolutely. It should be a fun one here today. As we said earlier, SNU got their first win of the season last week against Arkansas Monticello. Just pretty much ran right over them. Jacob Spady and company were very good at establishing the run games. They picked up a 31-17 victory. It's the most points scored in a regulation game since a 44-37 loss to Monticello 2 years ago. So just two great battles between two teams here in Bethany the recent years, and SNU was able to grind out a victory here last week. Jacob Spade became the first quarterback to run for 2 and throw for 2 touchdowns in a game since Brady Wardlaw did against Oklahoma Panhandle State in the 2010 season. The sophomore quarterback ran for 117 yards and threw for 144 on 8-11 passing. It was also the first win over an opponent who was fully NCAA Division II. After starting the season 0-4, the Bulldogs have won 2 straight with a 37-33 win over Southeastern Oklahoma State and a 41-7 trouncing of East Central last week. Both of those teams SNU lost to earlier in the season. John, what are you looking for today from the Bulldogs here?
Well, in the week against the East Central Tigers, Mark Evans threw for 357 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was 22 for 31 in passing attempts, and Southwestern threw for 382 and ran for 243. So they just had an offensive field day against ECU. It's the highest offensive output of the season. Cartrell Henderson ran for 93 yards and scored 2 touchdowns on 21 carries, while Sheldon Wilson had 80 yards on 11 carries. So, I mean, East Central's defense is nothing to be too impressed by, but still, big numbers put on by the Bulldogs.
Absolutely. Cartrell Henderson was a big part of that wrecking crew for the Bulldogs. He's got 8 touchdowns and over 600 yards on the season. Just an absolute monster in that backfield for the Bulldogs. In this series, it's been 5 games and 5 wins for the Bulldogs in the series, but the Route 66 rivalry has always had its fair share of drama. The first game came back in 2003, but regained steam in 2012 with SNU's first season in the GAC. In that contest, the Bulldogs climbed out to a 19-6 early lead in the third, and SNU closed it to a 19-12 early in the fourth, but SNU got in SWASU territory twice in the ballgame and had possession at midfield once, but 2 of the 3 drives ended in interceptions as the Bulldogs were able to hold on and win 19-12. And just 2 years later in Bethany, SNU was trying to break a then 19-game losing streak. The back-and-forth battle ventured in overtime when Lorenzo Alexander scored with 1:46 to tie the game at 21. Ross Moore gave SNU a 24-21 lead in overtime with a field goal, but Carl Hodge broke free on the first play for SWASU in overtime and ended with a 27-24 victory for the Bulldogs. It was also the last time SWASU paid a visit to Bethany, so a lot of drama coming here to Bethany. What do you look for as far as teams around the GAC, how they come into Bethany?
Well, the Crimson Storm head into the week ranked 3rd in the GAC in pass defense, as they are just allowing 175.3 yards per game. So that's going to be big against a SWASU quarterback like Evans, who was slinging it around ECU. He's not going to have that kind of success, in my opinion, against the SNU pass defense, which is ranked only 3rd in the GAC. So there's not a whole lot of flying zones in SNU's secondary. Also, SNU is also the least penalized team in the GAC. They're very fundamentally sound. Apart from a couple of false starts, you won't see a lot of defensive penalties unless it's a pass interference penalty, which you just can't avoid. The Storm have just 42 penalties on the year with 340 yards, an average of 56 penalty yards per game. And Jacob Spady is 10th in the conference in total offense at 161.2 yards per game and has 806 total yards. Noah Wells is also 12th in tackles for a loss with 5. So, I mean, on paper, SNU's offense and defense aren't flashy, but in my opinion, you got to go back to the film against Monticello, and you got to realize that Spady ran this team. Spady, 4 total touchdowns. The only points he didn't account for were extra points and a 41-yard kick by Carlos Anguiano. Jacob Spady had himself a game, and in my opinion, that confidence just shot up, and he's ready to go today.
I would expect a lot from Jacob Spady here today going against the Grain here. Look to maybe continue the ground and pound offense. We'll see as this day and this game progresses going on. We're going to take a quick break here at SNUathletics.com. Come back with Michael Westbrook for the recap and rewind of the GAC. Don't go anywhere.
Video's not playing.
Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Apologize for not having the Michael Westbrook deal going on here today. Murphy's Law still stands true. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. We're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Cheyenne Reynolds. Cheyenne, what you got for us?
Hey guys, it's very windy out here. 25 to 30 mile per hour wind blowing. I think with this, it's going to cause a lot of pressure on the kickers to make those easy routine field goals. I'm also expecting maybe to see a little bit of a run game going on, but SNU's looking really good.
All right, Cheyenne, what can you expect from SNU to do on the offensive side today? What do you expect them to come out firing with?
You know, I actually think they're going to risk and do a lot of passing. I mean, with Jacob Spady, with the really impressive game last week, I think they're still going to kind of keep what they've been doing and not really adjust. Maybe make a few adjustments, but still kind of come out with this kind of brand new team that we're seeing.
I think you're right, Cheyenne. Thank you very much. We'll keep you updated with Cheyenne Reynolds, our faithful sideline reporter. We're going to do some game day predictions for some games going around the GAC. At 12 o'clock, Ouachita and Southern Arkansas kicked off. It was off to an early start. I believe it was tied at 10 early in the second quarter. Who do you like to come out with a win that game?
Oh, coming out with a win in that one. I'm really looking for Ouachita to set up. I mean, it's always a great way to predict to wait for that showdown in Arkadelphia between Henderson and Ouachita. So you want them to be having pretty good records up to that point. But Southern Arkansas, they'll keep it close, but I like Ouachita to come away with it.
I like Ouachita, too. I never really want to go against a home team, especially a team like Ouachita that's very consistent, a very good program over the last few years. Northwestern Oklahoma State travels to Shawnee against OBU at 2 o'clock. John, who do you like in that game?
I actually like the Bison. I like the Bison to come out on offense and just establish their dominance. As shown in previous matchups with the Rangers, their defense is not spectacular. So I'm going to go ahead and say that OBU with that steady offense is going to take down the Rangers. I'm going to go ahead and say that OBU wins by 2 touchdowns.
I think you're right. It's going to be a good game. In the renewal of this series, after a 75-year kind of hiatus when the Bison program kind of came from death to existence here, the Bison ran for 288 yards and a 41-38 win at the Rangers. And the loss, Reed Miller became the 4th GAC quarterback to throw 500 yards in a game. So it could be some high-powered offense here. Not much defense there in Shawnee. I like OBU to get the win here today. Other games coming up here in the GAC. Should be some good battles. Last week, Harding went to battle against Henderson State and got the victory 35-3 in our game of the week last week. As well, Henderson State trying to get revenge and get back on the winning track after suffering their first loss in the GAC. They go against Arkansas Monticello, who suffered one of their losses here last week against SNU. Who do you like in that game?
Both teams coming off a crippling loss. Henderson State coming off of just a complete trouncing by Harding, and then Monticello, who came into Bethany and came away being upset by the Crimson Storm. Both teams with a little something to prove. I just think that the more talented team is the home team, and the Reddies will. I'm sure that the Reddies will beat the Bull Weevils, and it's not even going to be close.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. I like Henderson State to get revenge and get back on the winning track here today. That offense is just unmatched and unbelievable, except against Harding for last year. They kind of get shut out. Harding's one of the better defensive teams that I've seen here rolling through Bethany. It's just been a very, very stout program overall. East Central going up against Arkansas Tech at 6 o'clock, one of the late games under the lights here. Who do you like between the Tigers there?
Well, I like the Wonder Boys. I like Art Tech to come away with this one. I think that their offense is just too much, and East Central on the road with a defense that can't really impress and an offense that just can't get going. I like Arkansas Tech to win big. I
like Arkansas Tech as well. They got a stable of running backs that just seem to move piles, and the offensive line and defensive line just seem to move the opposing lines backwards. Remember which part of the game it is. I like Arkansas Tech to win that game. And our closing game of this weekend, Southeastern Oklahoma State at Harding in Searcy. Who do we got?
Well, I like the Savage Storm. I like that their offense is great, but I fall in love with teams like Harding. I fall in love with those kinds of teams that say, hey, here's what we're running. We're pretty much telling you what we're going to run, and we are not going to change anything else, and we're going to run it straight at you, try to stop us, and no one can. Yeah. So Harding comes away with, I'm going to go ahead and say that they win by at least 3 touchdowns. It's going to be Harding all the way.
I would go with that. I'd say Harding is one of the more stout teams that I've seen. They've got a massive offensive, defensive line, and their linebacking core is just just unparalleled. Really, they really came out firing against Henderson State and moved up to be the top 10, actually number 8 team in the country for all of Division II. So look to see a good battle there. I like Harding in that game as well. Southeastern, I just don't know it has enough offensive firepower, enough dynamics to get past the defense of Harding. So that's what I like in that game. We're going to take a quick break here at SNUathletics.com. When we come back, we'll have the recap of all SNU sports from this past week and go on through matchups, coin toss, and all that good stuff before game kicks off. We'll be right back here. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. I'm going to send it to my man John Hill for our SNU Sports Recap. John?
Thanks, Connor. In volleyball this week, SNU just after coming off a rough road trip through Arkansas, losing three matches in a row, they come back to SNU and they win a 3-1 match against Cameron, and then sweep Southern Arkansas and Arkansas Monticello 2 days in a row. They beat the Boll Weevils earlier today. In women's soccer, they won 1-0 at Harding on Wednesday. And in men's soccer, they actually lost to the Bison 3-2. And both those games were at Harding, and both men's and women's will play Friday. Or excuse me, they played Friday against Washita. We'll have that later for you. In women's golf, they finished 4th at the GAC preview this week. They had 3 players finish in the top 25, and it was their last tournament of the fall. In men's golf, they finished 4th at the MSSU Men's Fall Invitational at Monkey Island on September 27th. Their final competition for the fall is at the Midwestern State Invitational in Wichita Falls, Texas on October 17th and the 18th. So a lot of good things happening in Bethany and SNU Athletics. And SNU held Washita Baptist to only 1 goal. However, that was the only goal that they needed. So the Tigers ended up taking the victory against the Crimson Storm. And I believe that is all from, or excuse me, we're waiting for one more result. That was the men's game, and in the women's game, SNU fell 2-0 against Washita. So both men's and women's unable to come away with victories, and so we'll keep you updated with all things SNUathletics.com. Back to you, Connor.
All right, thank you, John. That was some good work there from the SNU Sports here this week. Volleyball able to get back on the winning side, and women's soccer also able to pick up a victory this week. It should be very fun down the stretch here as this soccer season. It seems like it just started, but we've only got a couple weeks left of soccer for men and women, and volleyball also in the thick of their schedule right now, trying to work towards those GAC championships, one of the better teams in the conference. We're going to throw to some matchups here in this ball game. John, what are you looking for between the Bulldogs here and the Crimson Storm?
Well, I'm looking for Jacob Spady to come out and just do more of what he did against Monticello. A lot of read option, a lot of quarterback keepers, but he's without a key weapon today. He's without Zach Walker coming out after a leg injury. And I spoke with Zach Walker a couple of days ago. He said that if he had it his way, he would want to sit out today and heal up for the game against Northwestern. So SNU without a key weapon. They moved Alec Laffoon back to slot receiver, so we'll most likely see him on the field a lot. Jacoby Hicks is actually not going to be seeing a lot of playing time today. An option of a change of another tight end. So a lot of changes going on in the SNU offense, as I'm sure those will keep happening week to week. Then there's Swasu, who comes in with a real weapon, an All-American returner. An All-American returner, and their number 2 man. I can't.
I believe you're talking about DJ Jones with 11 returns for 223 yards and averaging 20 yards per return. And also Sheldon Wilson with 5 returns for 174 yards and a touchdown for an average of 35 yards of return. So there's some stellar returners there on the special teams for SWASU.
Yeah, Jones is actually an All-American returner. It's just that his blockers aren't particularly good. So I mean, there's not a whole lot to help him with. But if he gets free, that's dangerous for SNU and very much any return team in the country.
Absolutely, John. Definitely some spots in both teams' defenses and special teams that could be exposed here today, if not assessed in pregame here. I'm looking for the rushing attack of SWASU, seeing if SNU's front 7 can be able to get a stop for Cartrell Henderson and Kenneth Marty. Henderson comes in with 605 yards gained for a net total of 592 yards on the season, and 6 yards a carry to go along with 8 touchdowns to average just under 100 yards a game at 98.7. Kenneth Marty at 36.3 yards a game, averages about 4 yards a carry and has 2 touchdowns. So a lot of running power there for SWASU as they have a total of 1,020 yards already halfway through the season. So it could be a big problem for SNU if they're not able to get it, as well as the passing attack from Mark Evans, just a fantastic quarterback, coming in with 1,514 yards, 10 touchdowns, and does have 8 interceptions on the season. 8 of their 9 interceptions on the season. So I look to see if Derek Carmouche and company with Greg Johnson and those boys can able to get some pressure on the outside and force some pass breakups or maybe an interception or two here on this defensive side. So it's going to be very interesting to see how if SWASU decides to throw the ball depending on which direction they're going in.
Key that you're talking about direction. This wind is starting to become very crucial. Carlos Anguiano is going to have either a brilliant day with in considerable wind if he's kicking towards the north end zone, or a terrible day if he's kicking towards the south, maybe only being able to kick extra points. We'll be seeing most likely a few more passes going towards the north end zone than the south. It's going to be, that wind is, the wind here in the high plains of Oklahoma and the Panhandle of Texas and this general area, the wind here is just a brutal part of nature, and it's a big factor in any sporting events that you have to do. Any sporting event that takes place outside. So it's going to be, key to see how both teams utilize their passing offense and how they utilize their running offense, and how much the passing defense is going to be able to stack up as running defense. It's just ground and pound, and it doesn't matter if there's wind or not.
Absolutely, it's going to be a tough day. The kicker for SWASU, Tyler Peterson, is 3 of 4 on the season. Has not kicked anything past 40 yards, so I wouldn't expect him to do much here today outside the 40-yard line here. We know Carlos Anguiano has got quite a leg to be able to carry distances, but I expect Coach Lambert to keep it conservative in those spots and maybe go for it on a 4th and short rather than trying to kick a long field goal just because of how crucial these wind conditions are here this afternoon.
Depending on the wind, if SNU is kicking towards the north, I don't know. We may be seeing a 50-yarder from Carlos Anguiano with the help of that wind. It's a hypothesis, but sometimes hypotheses are true. You just have to test them.
Absolutely. You never know what could happen here this afternoon. As we saw last week, just a totally different experience for SNU football here last weekend with the offense just rolling. The special teams were on fire. Carlos Anguiano was sensational punting the ball, putting 3 out of his 4 punts inside the 20 and a couple of them inside the 10 and the 5-yard line. It was just a phenomenal day for SNU all around, especially on defense with Greg Johnson and Derek Carmouche having a no-fly zone out there on the edge.
You're right, and like you were saying, we fast forward to last year to their first win in NCAA history against OBU. We can be perfectly honest in saying that a big reason that SNU won that game against OBU was basically luck. There were a couple of calls and a couple of plays that were just a little bit almost seemed supernatural at times. That hook and ladder that went for 60 yards being one of them. But against Monticello, that was just a new feeling for SNU. They didn't just beat Monticello; they handled them very well. They just went up and down the field on them. So SNU, under Coach Andy Lambert, they're starting to get a little bit of confidence in knowing they now know how to win. And so I expect that a bigger attitude, because coming in as a winless team and against a team that you can beat, you got a swagger. But now, whenever you can back up that swagger with results, it just ups your confidence and ups your attitude.
Absolutely, John. Definitely, Coach Lambert has put this team in a very good direction. Here on offense, SNU has 14 fumbles and 7 of them lost, so they really got to be able to take care of the football. Otherwise, this high-powered offense of SWASU could really burn them down the stretch, and SNU's got to be able to convert on 3rd down as they're 23 of 72 on the season for a clip of 32% and 0 of 5 on 4th downs for an absolute percentage of 0. So we'll see what SNU is able to grind out, as opponents for SWASU this season have scored 12 rushing touchdowns and averaged 4 yards per rush and 160.5 yards per game on the ground. So SWASU could be very lenient against the SNU rushing attack if Terrence Olds and Quincy Whitfield and Jacob Spady on that read option are able to click very well. I think SWASU could have a lot of problems here with this rushing attack of SNU.
And you're right. I'm going to be interested to see how much time Whitfield is actually on the field and how many opportunities he's going to get to actually carry the ball. Terrence Olds, we know that he's going to carry the ball and he's going to do extremely well. He's a big running back. He's able to blister a couple of people, and he's able to get up the field. If he gets space, he can do some damage. He's not particularly the fastest running back in the GAC, but he is one of the strongest.
Absolutely. Terrence Olds is very quick with his feet and being able to shift and move piles. Just a big body at 6'1", 225 pounds. He's just a fantastic back. And also that big offensive line across the board, where no matter who you're talking about, whether it's Big John Clark, Will House, Emilio Premier, Mark Roll, or Blake Coleman, those boys always able to move piles and just make just the right holes for the running backs and quarterbacks to make space. I also look for Reese Carlson on the outside to make some nice catches. And last week, Matthew Serrate was able to get some great yardage and also a stellar kick returner in his own right last week, getting about 20, 30 yards per return last week against Monticello. So we'll see if he's able to continue that here today as Jacob Spade has really utilized the weapons that he has around him, whether it's Carlson or Gillis or Jacoby Hicks or Terrence Olds. No matter who it is, he's very good at spreading the ball around and making the defense kind of think twice before Spady throws the ball or chooses to run with it.
Exactly, and one of the things, I mean, like we were talking about, Jacob Spady had 2 touchdowns through the air and 2 touchdowns on the ground. It's going to be interesting to see because against that Monticello team, he was able to weasel through that front 7. I don't know if Swassee is going to be that easy to maneuver through. So Spady's going to be having to look through those open holes and find those spots in the line. And also, he's got to learn to slide down and just take what he can get. There was a couple of times where Monticello where he was barreling into a defender, and particularly that's not a great idea whenever you're a quarterback who's trying to stay healthy through the remainder of the season.
Absolutely. We got the captains coming out for both teams. Number 13 for SNU, Andrew McClung and company, and Swassee's got a stable of captains coming out there on the field and trying to take the position. I think we both know whoever wins the toss is going to want to kick it either from south to north or return it going south to north. So we'll see what happens here.
Now, if I'm a coach, I would actually want to be going against the wind to start, because remember, if you get the wind, I mean, if you're going against the wind in the second and fourth quarter, you have the wind on your side, and especially on days like today, that's a big plus. So whoever wins the toss, if I'm the coach, I'd be saying let's go against the wind to start out the first quarter.
Yeah, it could be a good strategy here from Coach Lambert here for SNU. We'll see what they decide when we get the toss. We're going to take a break here at SNUathletics.com. When we come back, we'll have opening kickoff of this ball game between the Bulldogs and the Storm. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. After the coin toss, SNU won and elected to receive for this first quarter. John, what do you make of this strategy?
Well, from what I can tell, SNU wants the ball, wants to set up the tone. I mean, personally, my favorite team is Texas A&M University. This is what Coach Kevin Summerford likes to do. He likes to set the tone early. SNU is going to follow that example and set the tone. SWOSU, I'm sure that SWOSU's thinking, oh, great, we get the ball at halftime. So it's SNU going to go ahead and take the advantage. So let's see if they can live up to it and do something with that.
No problem at all, John. Let's see what they do. Set the tone. Tyler Pierce to set the kick off. Derek Gillis, Matthew Strait return for SNU, and that ball just goes deep into the end zone. Thanks to helping that win. Really carried the momentum of that ball going deep in the end zone, preventing a good return from Matthew Strait. The SNU offense will take the field here, led by Jacob Spady and company, who had quite a day last weekend against Arkansas themselves, throwing for 2 and running for 2 touchdowns as well. It's really commanding the offense.
And you're right. Once you said he had 4 touchdowns overall. He was responsible for all of this. All of this touchdowns. So Spady doing more of that action or that play action keeper, that lead option. He's going to be using the ball a lot. There's going to be a lot of movement. There's going to be the first handoff.
Spady handing off to Strait, bouncing off a couple of tackles. No game.
As you can tell right there on that wide receiver quick, it's just going to be a whole lot of that. There's going to be a lot of movement between the receivers and running backs.
Right, Carlson in motion. Spady on the keeper off the right side, and the defensive line just blows up the blocker off Reese Carlson. Just unmatched there. Number 99 for the Bulldogs. Just able to get past Tyler Foles, 6'3" junior out of Edmond, Oklahoma. Out of Deer Creek High School, actually. So this local kid out here making a play happen here on the second play of the game. Third down and long, touchdown for SNU on their opening possession of the ballgame.
Now this is a tricky situation because SMU is very much restricted to either their short passing.
Really snuffed it out at fourth and long coming up for SMU. I'd say come out with the punt team here. Could be very tricky here for SMU. Right out of Carlson, really going to have to get hold of this kick.
And you're right. Once again, like I was saying, they had to keep it short or down the run game, and SWOSU knew the situation, and they just snuffed it out really well. As you can tell, they're really crunching the line.
Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. As a punt there from Anguiano was able to hold on, just get past the 50, and Carmouche corrals it around the 49. And SNU's defense will take the field. John, what do you expect here from this SWOSU offensive attack against the SNU defense?
Well, after coming out on a big defensive stop for the Bulldogs, I wouldn't be surprised if SWOSU goes for a stomach blow just right off the bat. They go for the death blow and just air it out. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they go to the air right here.
I wouldn't be surprised either. Big quarterback in Mark Evans. Nearly making the grab, can't hang on to it, staying in bounds. Down to 10 coming up for the Bulldogs. Nice pass to the outside, but the receiver just couldn't hang on and make a catch. Pistol formation for the Bulldogs. Evans in the backfield. Taking the handoff, throwing left. He's got a man wide open. Shoots it by about 5-6 yards. Third down and long, held up for the Bulldogs. Evans not going to ball in that tight window. I think the wind may carried that over the receiver's head.
And there was your number 2, DJ Jones, your All-American return man, but he got the beat because he's fast and he's elusive right there in the middle of the road.
Third time he connects, just past the first down sticks. Fresh set of downs coming for the Bulldogs.
That was Hunter Dinkins, wide receiver 6'1", 180-pound senior out of Edgewood, Oklahoma. He makes a diving catch, and I'm impressed that he was able to extend his body and run like that.
Hurry up here after the first down catch.
Too late.
Evans passing right forward, pass no runs as DJ Jones quickly gets out towards the 30-yard line. 8-yard pickup. Back to nice play there by the Bulldogs, able to get Cartrell Henderson going with his first carry up the right side. New fresh shut it down right at the first down stick. I don't believe they're going to give it to him. And they just give the motion. They are first down and 10 again for the Bulldogs, really moving the ball here, picking up the pace. First and 10 for Evans. Henderson to his right, drops back to pass. Throwing over the middle, wide open is it. The receiver making the catch, barreling over defenders across the 10 and down at about the 8.
Now, right there in the middle of the field is very critical. Those crossing and slant routes are killer against the team who plays too deep. So if SNU wants to stop SWASU, they need to look towards the middle, those linebackers, and come up with some big plays.
J.R. Ormigi with a great catch up there. And Henderson running up the left side, trying to pick up something inside the 10, drop down at the 5. Second goal coming up for the Bulldogs.
Now, SNU showed strong defense against Monticello, holding them to 2 goal line stands. So they play a bend but don't break philosophy of defense, so we'll be able to see if they were able to hold the Bulldogs here.
I would expect SNU's cornerbacks to be a little more pressed here. CB's Dorian Harris and company got to really focus in and lock in on DJ Jones there in the slot. See if they throw towards him, and he does. Pass just too high, but flag coming in. I believe we got a pass interference call for number 5, Brayon Jackson. As he was covering DJ Jones, and that ball was a little bit high, and the hand just got in there for Brayon Jackson. We'll see what the call is. And it is pass interference on Brayon Jackson, moving the ball closer to the goal. Replay second down.
And I think that is I think that wasn't because of the play on the ball. I think Brayon Jackson had his hands a little bit too much on the receiver. So you got to make sure your hands are to yourselves until the ball's in the hands. Then you can make a play on the ball.
Fresh set of downs now for the Bulldogs as Evans in the pistol. Hands it off left side to Henderson, trying to find his way through. Pushing up towards the goal line. Ball comes loose, but I believe he's down at the ground just short of the goal line.
He tried to extend there and lost the football, but they're going to say that his knee was down right there at the 1-yard line. So big possession for both Crimson Storm and the Bulldogs.
Big possession and big bodies coming in for the Crimson Storm. Number 99, Jenner Johnson, comes in to try to plug up the middle there and get a stop here on 2nd and goal. Handoff up the middle again to Henderson, and he will score. First touchdown of the game goes to the Bulldogs. Cartrell Henderson able to bust it up the gut for 6 points.
And it almost looked like that one was going to get stuffed by the Crimson Storm, but just a big dive for the end zone is going to give the Bulldogs 6.
Tyler Peterson on to kick the extra point, the 5'11 senior out of Stockton, Kansas. Trying to connect here on the first PAT of the ball game. Snap back, ball down, the kick is up. Right down the middle, it is good. So SWASU takes first blood here. First quarter of the game. First quarter here, 10:02 left in the first quarter. SWASU on top, 7-0. We'll be right back. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. As you see on the bottom of your screen, SWOSU strikes first 7-0 as they take advantage of the great field position around the 50-yard line and advantage of the wind going forward as Mark Evans was having a nice day starting out with 4-7 passing, I believe, on that first opening possession.
Yeah, just a great start for the Bulldogs as number 12 Mark Evans able to lead the Bulldogs all the way down and just take it to SNU after some pretty good field position because of that wind. That wind's able to really affect the kicking game.
And just another monster kick for Tyler Peterson. It goes past the end zone out of bounds. Ball spot at, I believe, the 24 SNU to start off this 25 to start off this second possession here for the Crimson Storm as they were kind of stalled, went 3 straight run plays, whether it was a handoff or man in motion or a quarterback keeper on the read option. They just were not able to get past the 27-yard line here on that first possession as the Bulldogs really snuffed out their running game.
Well, you can't really blame the Crimson Storm for wanting to go 3 run plays in a row. This wind is just so killer. It kills any pass or kick opportunity that goes towards it. I mean, we're not in a big stadium like the Horseshoe in Columbus. We're in a pretty open field.
Trevor Smith with a nice run up the right side, still moving people, and he gets the first down at the 35-yard line.
And that was just a big run by by Brian Jackson, able to just tumble and bumble all the way down, can't quite see that number. It looks.
There's Trevor Smith, number
Trevor
6.
Smith.
One of our faithful slot receivers.
His jersey was kind of grunched up, kind of looked like a 5.
Ball officially spotted about the 37-yard line. First down for Jacob Spady and company. Hands it off. Oh, he fakes it up the middle, scooting and diving towards some further yardage there at about the 44-yard line is Jacob Spady with a nice solid run on the first down. Just doing what Jacob Spady is able to do best, reading the defensive end on a read option there.
And now Jacob Spady is going to have to be doing a whole lot more of that and making more big breaks. I mean, if he's able to keep his knees up and move, it could be big news for SNU going into this killer wind.
Second down and 4 coming up for Spady and company. Sends Smith in motion straight on a handoff up the middle, and he just gets stuffed out by the Bulldog defense. A great stop there by number 55 of SWOSU.
Now, whenever you when you bunch 4 backs around your quarterback or 3 backs around your quarterback and only set out 1 receiver, that just screams running play. So SWOSU was just able to just read that. A very easy play for SWOSU to swallow up.
Spady and company getting the direction here, trying to convert a long third down here. That's the loss of yards on the play. Now 3rd and 7 for the Crimson Storm. Spady comes out with Smith out right, holds to his left, and Twins left as well. Sending Smith in motion. Fakes the handoff. Spady back to pass. Feels the pressure. Throws a screen out to Olds on the right side. He's got some opening on the right sideline. Terrence Olds gets a block, and he will score. Touchdown, Crimson Storm. Terrence Olds with a great catch off the great setup on the screen on the right side. Touchdown, SNU.
That's big for SNU. Terrence Olds, like I say, he's not particularly fast, but once he gets out in the open, you can't stop him.
It was some fantastic blocking up there on the right side. I give a lot of credit to that offensive line, really setting up that play and just throwing out their bodies out all over the place to get the blocks. Great score.
Now we saw an offensive lineman pretty much go right out in front of him, almost outrunning Terrence Olds and getting that block on that safety. So give credit to that offensive lineman able to go down the field and still get the block.
Anguiano on for the extra point. Snap back, ball down, kick is up. And we got a tie ball game here in Bethany, Oklahoma. SNU is able to strike right back after SWOSU puts up a touchdown. SNU tied up with SWOSU 7 apiece with 8:02 left. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. We're going to throw it to our sideline reporter, Cheyenne Reynolds. Cheyenne, what'd you see down there?
Just some great stuff, big run from Trevor Smith to get him into that territory, and then Terrence Olds to finish with the touchdown. That was very exciting to see.
Absolutely. It's a great setup. We'd love to come back to Cheyenne for some more exciting plays that coming down and just get the energy on the sideline. Thank you, Cheyenne.
Thank you.
All right, SNU able to tie the ball game up with a nice setup on the screenplay from Jacob Spady. After just a fantastic block in there as his pass complete to Terrence for 60 yards for the touchdown. Very, very long, very quick strike for SNU after the 3-and-out possession they opened up with, John.
And right here, I'm looking for SNU to keep it down on the ground and go for a squib. You can't really kick it that far. The wind is just too terrible. So, as Carlos is used to going straight up and kicking it back towards the end zone, he's going to have to keep it on the ground.
Absolutely. Some good opening offensive possessions here now for both teams as SU now with 60 passing yards to 41 for SWOSU. As Carlos Angriano readies for his first kick of the ball game. So with this wind howling, you see the returners, they're not even past the 20-yard line. They're set up around the 25 as the ball just falls off the tee here, and we'll probably have a holder to come set that up for him. So now we have Jordan Williams, or I believe Mikey McClung out there to hold the ball in place for Anguiano. He'll try to move his hand out of the way before he kicks it. Anguiano setting back up for the kick. Trying to get something going here and really just try to put him as far back as possible and give his special teams player some time to get the ball down. He keeps a low knuckleball kick, just bouncing towards the 16-yard line. Returning is DJ Jones, a very speedy receiver, as you see, return man, firing it up all the way up the right side to about the 46-yard line of the Bulldogs. So back-to-back great field position possessions for the Bulldogs, John.
And you're right. Like we were talking about, DJ Jones, an All-American return man. Once he gets going, you can't stop him. And as you see, that he's just really quick off the ball. And once he gets a blocker, it's no telling what he can do.
Absolutely, John. It's a very dynamic player as DJ Jones set up in the slot right with Mark Evans back in the pistol formation and Henderson behind him. See how they set up here in their second possession. As he drops back to pass, he's got Henderson wide open in the slot. He fires towards him. Ball just a little out of place there. I think there's some miscommunication between what the running back for the Bulldogs were looking for is number 24, Kenneth Marty, comes in for his first series of the ball game. Evans' pass just a little bit off target. I'm sure maybe the wind had some adjustment to that. So I think good strategy, as you were saying earlier, by Coach Lambert to elect to proceed the ball going from north to south here in this first possession.
You're right, and right there you were right. There was just a little bit too much on that ball.
Evans back to pass, throwing again, finds DJ Jones. He drops it at the 30-yard line and gets dropped by Derek Carmouche off the incompletion. Third down and long coming up for the Bulldogs as Jones can't hold on to the pass, and he's got a lot of room to work with if he's able to make that catch.
Yeah, and you're right. That's twice that DJ Jones has busted open this SNU secondary. It's just they can't. It's just gone too high, or he can't hang on to it. And if he's able to hang on to that, that's big news for SWOSU, who can really blow this game wide open.
Evans in the shotgun with DJ Jones in motion. Drops back to pass, trying to find someone. He's got a man wide open across the 50, just short of the first down sticks at about they spot him in about the 48-yard line of SNU. So fourth down and short. With an offense like this, John, I don't see why you don't go for it. I believe that's what they're. And it looks like they're going to go with the punt unit on this game, in this play here, to try to keep it conservative and not take too many chances here with SNU's offense really firing on that second possession.
With this early in the game, I can see why they would want to punt, and with the wind at their disposal, I would see go ahead and do something here and pin him down deep.
SNU trying to get all men on the field. There's a late sub in punt. Snap back, ball down, kick is up. Spiraling towards about the 5-yard line, bounces very high back into the end zone. So SNU will start at the 25-yard line. We come back here at SNUathletics.com. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the action here at SNUathletics.com. Jacob Spady and company setting up shop at the 20-yard line here after the punt by the Bulldogs. Smith in motion. Spady hands up, fakes the handoff to Olds, scooting it up the middle for a nice pickup of about 6 on the first play of this possession. SNU able to come away with points on their second possession of the ball game with a nice 60-yard drop and a screen play to Terrence Olds and able to take it to the house for the score. The defense able to force SWOSU to go 3 and out on their last possession, so SNU a lot of momentum to work with here coming up on 2nd and 4. Spady in the backfield with men to his left and right. Sends right in motion, hands off to Olds, and he kind of gets tripped up there at the offensive line, slapping his hand on the ground. No gain on the play for Terrence Olds. 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Crimson Storm. Spady receiving instruction here, adjusting the play call to SWOSU's defense. Men split out left and twins right. Surratt going in motion. Handoff up the middle to Olds. He's got a little hole to work with, trying to move the pile. Not quite there. He'll be about 2 yards short of the first, about 1.5 yards short of the first down. I think Coach Lambert is looking to go for it. And split decision here. They're going to go ahead and punt and keep it safe, John. This is a close call, and the offense is clicking here early in the first quarter, but I think you got to keep it conservative.
Key word there, early in the first quarter. I think that if we were closer to maybe the second quarter with this amount of time, I would say, yeah, go ahead and go for it with the offense clicking like that. But right here in the first quarter, I'd say keep it safe and just punt it off again. But try to keep it away from Jones as much as possible. And looks like there's a fake.
Oh, my. Terrence Olds running up the left side to about the 44-yard line of the Bulldogs. My goodness.
A direct snap there to Terrence Olds, and we weren't expecting that.
Oh, my goodness. Our man Glade Pittenger even got faked out. Have a day, Terrence Olds.
So a direct snap, too.
I got to tell you, they were kind of confusing me when they came up and they got a man running on late to the field. I don't know if that was part of the play or whatever, but it worked. It threw off SWOSU. They had that left side completely exposed, and Terrence Olds able to take advantage and get a big pickup on 4th down.
Threw me off to Carlos Angriano. Just didn't have the ball. I was like, where's the ball?
Jacob Spady on the handoff. Quarterback keeper on the option. He's running up the right side. Another good pickup for Jacob Spady up to the 35-yard line of SWOSU. And this offense is just seemingly rolling here these last couple possessions here, John.
And you can tell if it's carrying over from that Monticello game, that offensive confidence has just built up, because we remember last year the SNU offense just wasn't able to stay on the field. That wore out the defense. Now SNU is getting really, really good at staying on the field and doing some damage.
Spady and company in the backfield with Surratt and Ramos to his left. Spady on the pitch to Surratt up the middle, trying to get a short gain towards the first down. We got our first flag of the ball game on the left far sideline around the 39-yard line of SWOSU. We'll see what the call is here. We got a false start on the offense. I'll move us 5 yards back, so it'll be 2nd and long coming up for Crimson Storm, I believe.
I think there was a legal formation, one too many men in the backfield, I think, Connor, and you're right, that'll move him back just a little bit.
2nd down and 8 coming up for SNU. You know, these little penalties, I think you mentioned it, John, can really hinder a team on when their offense is rolling. Just little penalties can really halt a form or a sequence of events here for SNU if they're not able to click and lock in offensively. Alec Laffoon split out wide right with Surratt in the slot. Terrence Olds to the right. Spady in the shotgun, send Smith in motion on the handoff up the right side. Smith able to make a couple guys miss, back up to about the 39-yard line. Spot him at the 38, 3rd down and 6 coming up for SNU.
Now this is a big couple downs. Even if they don't get the first down here, Connor, it's no man's land right there between the 40 and the 30-yard line. SNU is in 4-down territory right here.
You know, I think it should be noted that on that 4th down conversion, it was the first conversion of the season for SNU on 4th down. So a lot of things could be clicking SNU's way if they're able to continue with the game plan here today. Spady is serrating Olds in his backfield. Carlson off left in the unbalanced line. Spady trying to run up the middle, makes a couple men miss, able to get up back to the 35-yard line. It'll be 4th down and about 3 for SNU. We'll see if SNU elects to go for it again.
It looks like they'll stay on the field, Connor, and you're right. I mean, like I said, this is 4-down territory. Just because of field position. So SNU would go for it here on 4th down and about 4.
Big body for SNU. Devin Brady, a 6'3", 225 freshman, comes in for Matthew Serrate to give him a little more size, probably for some blocking if they elect to run it here. We'll see what Crimson Storm got in their playbook here for 4th down and 3 for SNU. Smith in motion. Spady back to pass. Has Brady. Oh, he had the first down in his hands, but drops the ball around the 35-yard line. Turnover on downs for SNU. SWOSU back on the offensive side of the ball.
And Brady, like you said, he had it. All he had to do basically after he caught the football was just fall forward, but I think he was thinking about the return before he thought about the catch.
Yeah, I think you're right, John. He may have heard some footsteps coming over his shoulder when he made the catch, when he would have had the catch at the 35. Nevertheless, Mark Evans and company come back out trying to get back on the scoreboard and take the lead back here on this possession. Evans in the pistol with Henderson behind him. Throws out right again towards J.R. Omiji, but just can't make the grab. SWOSU dropping some critical passes here in this game. He had a little green to work with there, possibly get about 5-6 yards, but it just can't hang on to the ball. Second down and 10 coming up here for the Bulldogs. Evans back in the pistol with Henderson behind him. Handoff up the middle. Duke, little darts up the middle are Henderson. Able to get a nice gain up the middle. About 8 yards. 3rd down and 2 coming up for the Bulldogs. This first quarter is looking to come to a close with 1:10. I think Bulldogs really trying to push the momentum here before the quarter ends and get at least convert this first down here. Evans, handoff off the middle. He's got tripped up and stuffed by the SNU defense. Loss of about 4 yards on the play. 3rd down and 5 coming up for the Bulldogs, and they're going to punt this one away. Excuse me, 4th down and 5.
So that's a big stop for SNU. I mean, the quarter's coming to an end after the kick, so if SNU can get perhaps a couple of yards here on a kick return, I mean, they have the wind at their disposal now. I mean, as soon as they get the ball back. So this is a big stop for the SNU defense.
I think they got to be careful here. The punt here from Peterson, a wobbly kick, angling back towards, and able to take the return is Jonathan Barton for about 4 yards up to the 19-yard line of SNU. So with 19.5 seconds left in the quarter, SNU offense will step back onto the field and try to get some momentum here. We're going to keep it right here on SNUathletics.com while both teams set to send their teams back out onto the field. John, what do you expect here to close out this quarter?
I'm expecting just a quick run by SNU. Take the yards, take as much yards as you can, keep the ball safe, and then go into the second quarter with the wind and get a little bit dangerous, I say. Throw the ball around. Do something with that ball because Jacob Spady, I mean, he doesn't throw a lot because he's more of a running quarterback with that read option, but he's pretty accurate when he does throw. Absolutely.
He's been very much on the money when he's had to throw the ball here these last couple weeks. We'll see what the offense comes out with here in their 4th possession already of the ball game. First play here goes up the left side. A gain of about 8. Nice play there for the Crimson Storm, able to really get things going. Terrence Olds making some headway here early. And And the first quarter comes to a close, and SNU and SWOSU tied up at 7. So we head to the second quarter. SNU will have the win at their backs this time, so possibly able to get to air it out. We'll find out when we come back here at SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to the action here at SNUathletics.com. As you can see there on your screen, SNU and SWOSU tied up at 24. Tied up at 7 apiece. I'm looking at the GAC scoreboard here as well. Ouachita Baptist and Southern Arkansas tied up at 24 with 5:45 left in the fourth quarter. It could be a really good game. See if Ouachita Baptist is able to pull out the victory. Meanwhile, Spady and company sending Trevor Smith in motion. Handoff on the backside. It's number 84, Derek Arrington. It's a minimal gain there for the first down for SNU. Fresh set of downs for Spady and company to work with. SNU really able to dictate and control a lot of that quarter offensively. They had 115 yards in the first quarter and only 2 pass plays, just able to really ground up the run game. So we got a flag coming in here on the near sideline. Looks like a false start for SNU. Not sure who the call was there on the play, but false start for SNU, moving 5 yards back to the 26-yard line. First down on 15 for SNU. John, what did you think about that first quarter from SNU?
Well, for having everything stacked against them, from SWOSU scoring and drawing first blood to going up against the wind, SNU did everything that they possibly could, and they could have done a whole lot more as Spady takes another run here.
And just a lot of big holes opening for Jacob Spady here these last couple weeks. He's really been a patient, strategic runner, being able to make the right cuts and dives up the left and right side here, able to get a lot of those yards back and bring up a manageable second down.
For where they are and for what they had in the first quarter, this is exactly where this is a great position for them.
Absolutely. Jacob Spady set up in the shotgun with Olds to his right. Smith out right, coming in motion. And it looks like we got a flag on the play as Olds running off the left side near the first down, but it won't matter here. I think we had a miscommunication between SNU receivers.
Yeah, we're going to have an illegal motion right here as 2 receivers went in motion, and you could tell it was like, wait, I was supposed to go in motion. So just a little bit of miscommunication there will set him back a couple more yards.
I think Matthew Surratt got a little confused there on the play call, so knock SNU back for another second and long, setting up for a second and long here, 11 to be exact. Spady and company will set up again, trying to dictate the play here and dictate how this tempo is going to go. SNU is very, very good, able to spread the ball around. We'll see what Spady comes up with here on 2nd and 11. Sending Smith in motion. Hands it off to Smith up the right side. Had a hold, fumbles it. SWOSU picks it up, running with it. And he gets slammed down by Terrence Olds at the 21-yard line. SWOSU now with great field position off the fumble by Trevor Smith.
Yeah, they'll set up inside SNU's red zone. So that's a big break for SWOSU, and right there. Number 6 for SNU, Trevor Smith. He's just got to know how to take care of the ball right there in open field. I mean, even in an open field, that's where it's most vulnerable because they're all coming after you. So SWOSU pretty much given a gift basket right here.
And the 15th fumble for SNU, the 8th one lost on this season. Got to be able to take care of the ball that could burn you against some of these better teams here in the conference. Evans in the pistol, working with great field position here. Throws out left side, pass is caught at about the 13-yard line for a good pickup on first down. Second and short coming up for the Bulldogs.
Dorian Harris, the 5'9", 150 freshman out of Mansfield, is able to immediately come there and not allow any yards after catch. So great coverage there.
Evans back in the pistol. With Mady, I believe, behind him in the formation. Throwing out right side to DJ Jones. Gets some good blocks up there. One-on-one against Greg Johnson. Shuffled down at the 10-yard line. Will be set up a 1st and goal now for the Bulldogs. As Evans directing traffic here, trying to put the Bulldogs back on the board and take back the lead here early in this second quarter. Evans sends a man to motion, fakes the handoff, has him wide open over the middle. Pass broken up by the SNU defense.
And that was, like you're saying, that was a great defense. That linebacker core right there in the middle and breaking up that pass. That would have certainly been a touchdown if he was able to come down with it. So great coverage there.
Braylon Jackson with a great pass break up there over the middle. Would have been a sure touchdown if the receiver was able to make the catch. Evans now with 2nd and goal. Hands it off up the right side. Not much room to work with. He's actually going to take a 2-yard loss. 3rd down and long coming up for the Bulldogs.
That was Carmouche right there coming off on that corner position and making the tackle. Big hit there by Derek Carmouche.
Evans back in the pistol. With Kenneth Marty behind him. Tailback position. Haven't seen a lot of Cartrell Henderson lately in these last couple series. We'll see what they elect to go with here with 11:40 left in the second quarter. Evans adjusts the play called. Back to pass. Trying to find someone. He's lopped in over the middle. Broken up again by Derek Carmouche. No fly zone there on the outside from Carmouche.
Right there, the receiver went up to get the pass. Derek Carmouche just lays his shoulder pads right into his gut. Breaks up the pass. And looks like SWOSU might be setting up for a field goal try. No, it looks like they're going to go for it here. 4th down and goal from the 12 or 13.
Could be a tough situation here. Evans clapping here for the snap, trying to adjust the play call to SNU's defense. Miles rolled, adjusting the defense as well, trying to get him in the right position here. Evans back to pass again, trying to find somebody's. Looking for a man on the left side. He finds him, and he will not score. Turnover on downs for the Bulldogs as SNU defense holds strong. SNU defense really coming up strong. Their pass defense is really proving how good they are. They're 3rd in the conference in total pass defense, and they really come up big in the red zone as Derek Carmouche and company really make it hard for quarterbacks to throw.
And like we've been saying all game so far, that wind has been quite the factor in this game and causing a really big external factor. So I mean, maybe if it wasn't blowing so intensely, it would be a field goal, but SNU able to come up with a stop.
Absolutely, SNU is going to look to take advantage here at about the 8-yard line. Their own 8-yard line, tied up at 7 with 11:24 left. We'll be right back here at SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to the action here at SMUathletics.com. Crimson Storm with another fantastic performance inside the red zone, holding the Bulldogs to a turnover on downs. And they'll set up shop here at the 7-yard line. Shout out their own goal. They can't afford to take many chances here. Spady on the keeper up the middle. Able to find some room for a nice minimal gain out to about the 9-yard line. Just trying to further inch away from their own goal line and not put them in a desperate situation if they're forced to punt on this possession.
Yeah, and right here, if SNU is forced to punt, that is a win in my opinion. If SNU has the wind at their disposal now, so if SNU can get out of this area and just maybe get a couple first downs together, and if they are forced to punt, they're forced to punt, but they can quickly switch this field on SWOSU, and with the wind against SWOSU now, that's big in the second quarter.
Absolutely. John Spady sending the man in motion out to pass, trying to find Serrate on a short dump pass, but just finds it in the turf. And we got a flag here on the near sideline. We'll see what the call is here from our official. Not sure what they're looking for. There wasn't much time for the play to develop. And here's our official with the call.
And there's no call.
Looks like you're right, John. No call on the play. Replay staying here with a second down and long coming up for the Crimson Storm. The second 8 after a short Spady run and the pretty much no play there. Set up on the right hash. Trying to find something here with a shadow of their own goal at the 8-yard line. Spady set up and kind of was an offset pistol, shifting over to the shot back in the shotgun with Serrate. Atu's left in the slot, and Martin out right. Sends Serrate in motion. Spady trying to find someone. Oh, had a man with a crease, and I believe it was Reese Carlson for a brief moment opened up over the right side, but kind of gets cracked by a defender as the ball was sailing over his head. Third down and long coming up, or fourth down and long coming for SNU.
Now Spady may have had him anyway. I mean, he just needed a couple more seconds to let that play develop. I mean, Carlson had a clear streak down the seam, so if he just waits maybe 2 more seconds, if he has 2 more seconds, that could be a big play if he just drops it in the basket. But I mean, just didn't end up panning out that way, and now SNU will have to punt. Like I said, it's not a loss that SNU needs to punt right here.
Anguiano, the snap back, end overrun kick, landing at about the 40, taking it to the Bulldogs with a little bit of a crease up the middle, trying to find something, is able to push a pile just across the 50 at the 49-yard line where the Bulldogs will set up shop. Their second possession of the quarter. John, what do you look to expect here from the Bulldogs early on in this second quarter with the wind now against them here in the second quarter?
A lot more running, and if they do need to pass, I would expect maybe a screen pass like SNU, and like we saw in the first quarter, SNU was able to score their touchdown on a 60-yard screen pass to Terrence Olds. So right here, I'm looking for the Bulldogs to keep it on the ground with Henderson, and if they do need to pass, keep it short.
Evans in the pistol with Henderson behind him. Fake handoff up the middle. Got a man wide open on the right side. DJ Jones able to corral the catch at about the 28. Drags tacklers down to about the 24 for 4 yards after the catch, and a big first down early here for the Bulldogs. So they're looking to throw deep here against this very strong wind coming from the south.
And that was just a gutsy play call with that wind, and Jones, who just hasn't been able to come up with a pass yet, finally gets one. So just shows you how much I know.
Evans back in the pistol, hands it off to Henderson. Haven't seen much of him here today. Able to get a nice gain up the middle to about the 22, 21-yard line for a nice little pickup. Second down and about 7 coming up for SWOSU. Evans back in the pistol with interesting, kind of a broken play there. The offensive line kind of seemed like they jumped a little early, and a flag coming in on the play.
Yeah, that flag came in late, so this might be a face mask penalty or or something of that nature. That flag came in really, really late. Personal foul, face mask against Crimson Storm. So, like I said.
So just an unfortunate error there forced by SNU, just giving more yards to the Bulldogs here. It looks like they'll move them up to about the 10-yard line of the Crimson Storm. So could be another goal, another red zone stand here for SNU if they're able to lock in here off these passes here from Evans, or maybe they'll look to try to run the ball down to SNU's throat. Handoff up the right side is Henderson. He's got a little bit of room. Struggling to keep his balance, able to move down to about the 6-yard line of SNU. So good start here, 1st and goal, now 2nd goal for the Bulldogs. Evans back in the pistol with Jones in the slot out left and Amiji out wide left. No man right. Evans receiving instruction from the sideline, trying to adjust the play here, and Roll also adjusting as well. Evans gets it, hands off up the left side to Henderson. Big hole at the left side, bouncing off defenders into the end zone, and he will score. Touchdown Bulldogs.
That was just a big run by Henderson, able to find the crease and bounce off defenders, and SNU finally releases a touchdown after 2 impressive goal line stands. So the Crimson Storm will trot back onto the field, and like I was saying earlier in the quarter, it may be time for a couple more risky plays trying to air it out.
Cartrell Henderson with 10 carries now for 29 yards and 2 touchdowns. His longest run of 8, his extra point is up, and it is good. SWOSU takes the lead back, now up 14-7 with 8:33 left in the 2nd quarter. SNU offense looking to come back out on the field and strike back. We'll be right back here. Welcome back to the action here at SNUathletics.com. SWOSU takes back the lead 14-7 off a nice little pickup inside the 10 from Cartrell Henderson, able to just bounce off defenders into the end zone for the score. John, what you make of that possession there from the Bulldogs?
Right there, I just saw a mission in the Bulldogs saying, hey, we were unable to score on that fumble opportunity. Let's finish the job. And they were able to do so and put 6 more back on the board.
You're right, John. It was an impressive performance there. Granted, they did have 21 yards to work with for their possession after they had a short field in off the 49-yard line. I'm thinking of the previous possession before that. Sorry about that. So SNU just wasn't able to get a stop after a big pass play from Evans to DJ Jones. They were able to just play power football and work that ball eventually up in between the hashes and just able to pound it into the end zone. Peterson on to kick off here, sending a knuckleball down the middle. Taking it up the right side is Derek Arrington. Coming up the left side now, able to bounce off defenders to about the 37-yard line. Great field position for SNU.
Now SNU once again looking to answer once again, and the last time they were answering a touchdown, they went on a 60-yard screenplay. So we'll see if SNU going to keep the offense moving.
I look forward to seeing how Jacob Spady and company able to work here after the score from the Bulldogs, if they're able to move the ball here with the wind at their backs and maybe air it out a little bit or continue that power football between Spady and Olds. It was really working for them And that handoff off the jet sweep to Trevor Smith is really effective against the Bulldogs as well. If the SNU is able to hold on to the ball, because we just saw in the last one of the last possessions they suffered their 15th fumble of the season, and just in the 8th one lost. So we'll see if they're able to continue here.
Spady's going to take a timeout right here. Didn't like what he saw.
It's like a miscommunication here or some sort between the teams and the officials. We'll see what the official call is here. And it is a timeout here on the field for SNU. We'll take a timeout with them. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here at SNUathletics.com. Welcome back here at SNUathletics.com. SNU opening up with their possession here about the 38-yard line at their nice return there from Derek Arrington. We'll see if Spady and company are able to answer the score from the Bulldogs, now down 14-7. And off up the right side to Arrington. He's got a lot of room to work with. Nice blocks there from Al Clafone, keeping his balance up past the 50 and up to the 46-yard line of the Bulldogs.
Big play right there for the Crimson Storm, able to answer SWASU. Then now they just got to get in the end zone, but it looks like this one's coming out. This one's coming back because of a flag.
Flag down back around the 35-yard line. Looks like SNU will be taking a step back here for a first down and 20 now from about the 28-yard line of SNU.
Now that seems just to be the theme of the day. SNU has had a couple of those big plays that have been called back because of a penalty. So, and we were talking about in the pregame that SNU is one of the least penalized teams in the GAC. So, very uncharacteristic play going on right here in terms of penalties.
Yeah, you're right, John. Just some of those really kind of drive killers that happen for teams, whether it's SNU or Harding or Henderson State or Southern Arkansas. No matter who you look at, whenever they're in the midst of a big drive, penalties can absolutely kill those drives, especially if you're in a tight game like this one. SNU starting back now at the 28-yard line after the holding penalty on a 1st and 20 with a lot of ground to make up. And Terrence Olds looking to pick that ground back up. But a solid 10-yard gain back at the original line of scrimmage. So good stuff there from Terrence Olds and offensive line, able to move the pile and make holes for Olds to work through and get some of those yards back.
Terrence Olds, like we said, he's a big bumbling. He's a bruising running back. So once he gets into the open space, he's pretty hard to stop.
Update here for you. Ouachita Baptist looks to get the victory up 34-27. I believe that game is just concluded. Southwestern Oklahoma State, as you see here, up 14-7. Oklahoma Baptist up 21-14 against Northwestern. Play up here off the left side is Spady, but another flag down in the backfield. And a couple flags down around the line of scrimmage.
One flew in, and that's going to be illegal hands to the face against SWASU. And like I said, that one came in right as Spady eluded a tackle. So that one's coming against SWASU.
SNU with a nice break there after the good pickup there from Jacob Spady. We'll now get some more yards here and set up shop at the 43-yard line of the Bulldogs. Jacob Spady on the day, 1 of 4 passing with 60 yards, completed that one long screen pass to Terrence Olds for the first score of the game. On the flip side, Mark Evans 8 of 15 for 89 yards. Jacob Spady now working at the 43-yard line. I believe Ramos now to his left. A big bunch formation out to the left. Spady faking the read option, trying to find someone. Keeps it himself up the middle, bouncing off tacklers down at about the 36-yard line. Heads up play there from Jacob Spady, able to take the ball up the middle as he was feeling pressure from behind and get a good pickup on first down and set up 2nd and 3.
And right there, that's the thing that scares me about Jacob Spady. he's a physical player, but here's what scares me about him. Right there, he went up and tried to do like a little Troy Aikman. He's just kind of like the windmill play, like John Elway with the Denver Broncos, and he does like that little spin, but he needs to learn how to slide down and avoid some of these big hits.
Spady trying to find something here with the play call. Matthew Surratt not able to get much there on the play. Takes a loss of yards back to the 38-yard line out the Bulldogs.
SWOSU obviously saw what Surratt did against the Bull Wheels of Monticello, and so they've had kind of a bell on him and have been able to swallow up any chance he has to make a big play.
There's an update for you between Ouachita Baptist and Southern Arkansas. In overtime, Southern Arkansas was able to drive and get a field goal with 1:30 left, and Ouachita Baptist is able to go 8 plays, 46 yards in a minute 25 to their game-time field goal. Spady off the keeper here up the right side, trying to find something on 3rd and long. Gets back to the 35-yard line. Be 4th down and short coming up for SNU. And it could be 4-down territory or a possible long field goal for Carlos Anguiano. I think they're just going to keep the offense on the field here with a 4th down and 3 coming up for SNU.
I think you're right.
Spady trying for wanting to go for a quarterback keeper there. The whistles come flying in.
There's a timeout.
Got timeout for SNU.
And a very crucial timeout because Spady was setting up for a quarterback keeper, and it's 4th down and 3, not 4th down and inches.
Yeah, it's a gutsy play call there. I'm not sure that would have been the wisest decision. Is be 4th down and 3 after the timeout. Just to update you here on some scores around the GAC. Southern Arkansas just scores now in overtime, down 33-34, so pending an extra point or 2-point conversion, could go to second overtime, or Southern Arkansas could sneak out a victory here against Ouachita Baptist on the road. As I said earlier, Southern Arkansas was able to score with 5:45 left. With 5:45 left, was able to drive down the field in 4:15 and end with a field goal to put them up 3. And then Ouachita Baptist comes right back with a minute 25 to go, 8 plays in 46 yards to tie the game and send them into overtime. John, some very tight games here around the GAC early on between Southern Ark and Ouachita, Oklahoma Baptist and Northwestern, and Southwest Oklahoma State and Southern Nazarene.
Yeah, just a lot of great games going on in the GAC. And it looks like Southern Ark just tied. Looks like they just tied the Tigers, so they'll be going into 2 overtimes now.
Yeah, it's a lot of dramatic stuff going on here early on. This early midday games. Spady and company, a big formation in the backfield. Let's see what they come out with here. Fakes the handoff up the left side. Spady trying to find a man open. Had Jonathan Martin open around the 26-yard line. Pass just a little off target as Spady was getting chased down for the hit. He turnover on downs for SNU.
He threw that right behind Martin, so that's on Jacob Spady. Martin was all alone there. He just needed to come up with a grab, but can't really come up with a grab when the ball is 3 yards behind you. So SNU's defense is really going to have to be called upon right here as they try to stop the offense of SWOSU from taking a 2-score lead.
It's a great field position to start off for both these teams now. And SNU starts around the 37, their own 37, and now SWOSU back on the field at their own 36. Hands off up the middle, a lot of room to work with for Kenneth Marty. And he's able to get a nice gain up to the 40-yard line. For a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6.
It could have been a lot worse because he had a good head of steam going, but SNU able to trip him up as he only gains 4.
Some stats for both teams. SNU now up to 115 yards on the ground, 60 yards passing. SWASU with 29 rushing yards and 89 yards passing. There's a lot of great offensive firepower here for both teams. Just being able to move piles forward and not really go backwards on a lot of their plays. Fake handoff up the left side as quarterback Evans gets hit and dropped, and a near interception for SNU. As number 33 comes flying in. Damian Willis with a great pass breakup and just a great heads-up play as he saw there was going to be a great opportunity for SWASU to advance and just had to knock the ball down. Third down and long coming up here for the Bulldogs. This would be a great stop for SNU if they're able to go 3 and out against the Bulldogs. DJ Jones coming in motion for Evans. Heads back. Evans not looking his way. Dumps it off to Kenneth Marty. Trucks over an SNU defender for the first down. Down at about the 42-yard line of SNU.
That was number 22, Justin Breitling, who was there to make the tackle, but just gets trucked by the SWASU receiver. So could have been a stop, but Breitling just gets plowed over.
I think Kenneth Marty hit the hit stick there on that play. Back in the pistol is Marty with Evans. Handoff up the middle, back to Marty. Just bouncing off tacklers, having a field day here. Looks like could be back-to-back first downs now for the Bulldogs off the pass and run, the pass catch and run from Kenneth Marty.
Now you just can't arm tackle against these running backs who are just ready to go. They're running with a full head of steam, and if you try to arm tackle them, you are not going to come up with that tackle. So SNU going to learn how to tackle around the waist and bring down these Bulldogs.
Clock really ticking here. So we got 3.5 left in this second quarter. Evans with a deep pass up the right side. Carmouche comes flying in against DJ Jones for the interception, but can't hang on to it. Second down and 10 coming up, and Derek Carmouche shaking his head. Doesn't get a lot of easy opportunities like that for an interception.
Now he shouldn't be shaking his head that much because that would have been a tough play for anybody. Just flying in there. If he was to come up with that interception, he would have had to catch it over his head, over the receiver's body. So Carmouche with a great play there.
Evans handed off to Marty up the middle. Able to get a solid gain up the middle to about the 29-yard line, gain of 5 for Marty. Third down and 5 coming up for the Bulldogs. Another third down stop here for SNU. Just out of field goal range for Tyler Peterson, so it could be 4-down territory here late in the half for the Bulldogs. Evans checks the play to the sidelines to adjust. SNU does the same. Evans now ready with Marty to his left, sends a man in motion. Drops back to pass, looking right, pumps, throws, making the catch. There's a man on the right sideline, tackled out of bounds at about the 24-yard line.
And I think he's going to be a yard
He'll be just short of the first down. Fourth down and about 2 feet now for the Bulldogs. See if SNU can get a stop here. Crowd's cheering. Evans calling for it. Gets the ball, hands it off to Marty up the middle.
And that's going to be super close.
That is very, very close. I'm not sure if he got the push. We'll see where the officials choose to spot the ball.
That is going to be super close. It just depends on the spot of the ball.
I think he just got it, John.
They're going to pull out the chain gang for this one. And I don't think
he did not get it. Turnover on downs for the Bulldogs. What a stop there by the Crimson Storm defense. It was just fantastic performance here on the outside from Derek Carmouche, and that front seven for SNU able to plug the holes and stop the Bulldogs.
Now, I'm pretty sure that if SWASU could, they'd be calling for a challenge there, but we don't live in that kind of world, at least not here at D2.
Here you got to be able to play straight up and be able to deal with the issues of not having a replay on your side. If you're either team, so Spade & Company will set up shop at nice field position around the 24-yard line.
Well, now it's 2-minute drill, Connor, and so SNU going to have to get on their horse and try to answer the SWASU Bulldogs.
Spady faking the handoff up the left side. He's just going to camp down with defenders around him around the 28-yard line. Pick up of about the 24-yard line. No gain on the play.
Now, SNU only has one timeout to work with, so they're going to have to really try to get down the field and try to air it out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing at home. You got the wind to your back. You'll have it to your back in the fourth quarter as well, and it's been a very nice competitive game. I'm concerned if they want to play conservative here, John, to close out this quarter as Martin goes in motion in front of Spady. Trying to air it out. He had Carlson up the right side, but ball gets batted down.
That was batted down right at the line by a SWASU lineman. I believe that was number 55 there.
And you don't really see a lot of passes get batted down from Spady. At a big body at 6'5", he's usually able to get the ball out cleanly when he releases it. Third down and long coming up here for SNU after the turnover on downs. 1:31 left remaining in the half. SNU down 7-14. Spady and company with a long third down conversion here to work with. Hands it off the right side to Arrington, and can't hold on to the block is the right side of the offense, but we got a flag on the play on the right sideline. We'll see what the call is.
And down there we see a SNU coach that is just absolutely livid.
Jacob Spady gets the call and can't believe it.
Not sure if he's mad at his player or mad at the official.
False start on the offense. And we do have a false start on the offense. Penalty decline. Fourth down and long coming up for SNU, and I would expect the punt team to come out here on this possession here, John.
Right, and with this amount of time, with 3 timeouts, SWASU could be looking to do some damage. I mean, they've got plenty of time and 3 timeouts to work with. I would look for SWASU to come out and play aggressively.
We got a timeout on the field, John. We're going to take one with them. We'll be right back here at SNUathletics.com with fourth and long coming up for SNU. Welcome back here to SNUathletics.com. Fourth down and long for SNU. Carlos Sanguiano set back to punt around his own 9-yard line. Snap back. Anguiano leaps to catch it. Nearly blocked. A good spiral kick landing at the 30-yard line. Bulldogs looking to return it. A near block in the back there from the Bulldogs. We got a flag on the play as Bulldogs bring the ball up to the 38-yard line.
And I think, and you're saying a near block in the back? I think that is a block in the back. That one's coming back for SWASU.
Yeah, we got a flag on the far sideline. DJ Jones will get called on blocking the back against Matthew Surrate. And not sure what we got going on here on the field as both teams looking to move back. Official makes the call. We got a face mask on the receiving team for SWASU. So good news for SNU, moving the Bulldogs back to the 19-yard line with 1:11 left here in the first half. SNU down 14-7. Can't afford to make any mistakes here down the stretch in the first half, John.
Yeah, now SWASU backed up to their just on the other side of their 20. I would still look for them to get pretty aggressive. I mean, they have a minute 11 to do some work, so we'll see exactly what they want to do. And there's a little misdirection to Jones.
A lot of space up there for Jones. Gets tackled down, hit around the 29, carries the defenders to the 31-yard line. Clock stopping at 1:03 while the chains reset. And 2 timeouts now to work with, and a minute left here in the first half. Evans may look to air it out here on this possession. Hands off, fakes handoff up the middle. Long pass on the right sideline to Omiji, shaking and baking defenders up to the 45-yard line. SWOSU really pushing the pace here around the 45-yard line now with under 45 seconds now left here in the first half. Evans directing traffic from the pistol, trips out to the left. SNU can't afford to make any lapses here. Ball slung out to the left side. Dump truck down. This is SWOSU receiver at the 49-yard line. 2nd down and 4 coming up with 32 seconds left, and I believe SWOSU's taking the time. SNU took their last timeout. SWOSU takes the last time out of the half as the referee had a misdirection on who called the timeout. So we'll be right back here at SNUathletics.com after the timeout. Welcome back here at SNUathletics.com. 32 seconds left here in the first half with SNU down 14-7. The Bulldogs with the ball here at the 48-yard line on 2nd and 3 now, trying to get this first down conversion. Evans in the shotgun. Drops back to pass, looking for a man on his right side. Finds him. The ball bounces just off the ground from our head judge. 3rd down and 3 now for the Bulldogs. 26 seconds left to work with. This could be a good stop here for SNU, John, going into the second half if they're able to keep SWOSU out of the end zone and get a win here on defense. Evans, the shotgun back to pass, trying to find the screenplay to Henderson. Gets wrapped up, shakes the defender, keeps on carrying people down past the 45 up to the 40 to the 35-yard line. We got a flag on the play. I believe we got a holding call. It's at the line of scrimmage. They're on the far sideline. And we'll see what the call is here from our head official. Personal foul, face mask on SNU as that screenplay was developing. And that's just an unfortunate call there for SNU with the face mask, giving SWOSU much more room to work with and plenty of time now to get the ball in the end zone.
And that's a big blow for SNU. Right when it looks like you could have stopped him, he breaks one for another 15 yards, and now you add 15 yards on top of it.
Pass up the right side from Evans right into DJ Jones' numbers right at the goal line, and the Bulldogs now go up 2 scores, up 20-7. So SNU, after the face mask penalty, SWOSU's able to take advantage and just go one play into the end zone. Great pass play there from Mark Evans, now with well over 100 yards passing here in this first half. As he's 13 of 23 for 56.5% completion percentage. As the kick is up and good, SWOSU takes the lead 21-7 with 8 seconds left in this first half. So the SNU defense kind of broke down there on that last possession, John.
Yeah, and really that was all just penalties. I mean, penalties have really killed the Crimson Storm in this first half as they've broken a couple plays and then they have it called back, and then they have a big stop on defense, and it's moved forward because of a penalty like a face mask. So SNU is going to have to clean up the penalties and try to get some more work done on offense if they want to stay in this game. And right now down 2 scores, and SWOSU gets the ball back at the at the beginning of the second half, so SNU is going to have to go to work in the final 30 minutes.
Absolutely, John. Some stats here for you guys in this first half. SWASU now to 56 rushing yards and 164 passing yards, running off 40 plays for 220 total yards. SNU on the flip side with 112 rushing yards and 60 passing yards. So that rushing attack really making waves against the SWASU defense. They're up to 172 total yards. Both teams right at 5.5 yards per play. SNU just not able to really click. Those little penalties really stack up and really stall some of their solid drives that they start out with. So Tyler Peterson will step back to kick. I believe Derek Gillis and Derek Arrington back to return for the Crimson Storm after the kick from Peterson with 8 seconds left in the first half. Peterson, a low knuckleball kick. Right up to Arrington, running up the left side. Has a little bit of a crease, but gets dropped down at about the 37, 36-yard line with 3 seconds left in the first half. I think SNU will just run off one play to kneel and go to halftime and take a victory here, down 2 scores, but they've been able to hold SWASU on a couple of possessions. So look to see what Coach Lambert looks to make here. As we actually got a flag here on the near sideline where the kickoff was made. We'll see what the call is. Looks like it may be offsides on the kicking team. Offsides on the kicking team of SWASU, so it'll be 5 more yards for SNU, but I'm not sure it'll matter. I expect Coach Lambert here to keep it conservative here on this last play of the half and go to the locker room with down 21-7, try to make some adjustments, John.
No, I think you're right, Connor. I mean, like maybe if they were on the other side of the 50, they might want to air it out, try to get one more touchdown before the half. But right here, just expect a quick kneel down. We'll go to halftime, and like we were saying, I think the adjustment for SNU has to be shortened down the penalties. The penalties have been really killer for the Crimson Storm.
SNU already with 7 penalties for 54 yards. Spade in the shotgun, looking to probably run off one play. He may look to hand it off to Olds here up the middle. He's going to actually drop back to pass. Shows what I know. Spady airing it up the right side. Got Alec Laffoon on the right. Alec Laffoon had a nice crease past the defense of SWASU, but just couldn't come back to the ball just enough as that ball just sailed a little bit inside. I think the wind altered that throw just a little bit as Spady was running off right. We're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Cheyenne Reynolds, when she finds Coach Lambert here to see what he makes of this first half. Coach Lambert drawing his troops in, trying to get something going here. Cheyenne, what did you notice in that first half here from SNU?
You know, we've seen some really big defensive stops on 4th down and a huge touchdown by Terrence Old. So, you know, we've seen some good stuff. I think it's just a little bit more of discipline and just kind of trying to figure out what we can do to finish off the game.
Absolutely. I think might want to catch up to Coach Lambert there, talking with one of the coaches trying to lock in here. We'll see if Cheyenne's able to track him down here and get an interview before we go into the locker room. Now, Cheyenne, I think you're in good position. There we go. Cheyenne Reynolds with head coach Andy Lambert. Cheyenne.
Hey, guys. So, Coach Lambert, what do you think of your team's performance in the first half, and what are some adjustments we can see going into the second?
I don't know about adjustments. The first half was a disaster, so we just, making way too many mistakes to feel like we can be in it in a game like this. So, whatever, I don't think there's adjustments we have to make. We just have to go in and come back out and try to play a mistake-free game second half for sure.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach. Good luck. All
right. Thank you, Cheyenne. Our faithful sideline reporter, Cheyenne Reynolds, head coach Andy Lambert, as SNU is down 21-7. And as Coach Lambert really harped on it, there were a couple of mistakes that SNU really stalled a lot of the drives in offense and really pushed them backwards on defense. John, what do you expect to see in the second half?
Well, what I expect to see in the second half is just more of what was working so well for the Crimson Storm to begin with. Just those short passes. They don't need to be big, but they need to be moving. And like the play that was the biggest play for the Crimson Storm all the game was that 60-yard screen pass, Terrence Olds. It doesn't need to be flashy. It doesn't need to be anything new. It just needs to be on target, and the receivers got to come up with it. But once again, it just penalties. He's killing the SNU Crimson Storm, and I mean, personally, I think that Coach Lambert was maybe a little bit too harsh on the judgment that it was a full disaster. Like, there were some things that were good in the first half, but you're right, those penalties definitely made it look worse than it actually was.
I think you're right, John. 7 penalties for 54 yards for SNU in just one half alone. One of the least penalized teams. In fact, the least penalized team in the GAC. They really got to clean it up going forward here in this second half. I look to see Jacob Spady trying to air it out a little bit more with the wind to his back, but I think really they got to go back to their foundation, ground and pound with Jacob Spady and Terrence Olds and company, and that jet sweep to Trevor Smith seemed to be really locked in. They just got to be able to focus in on their blocks, and the offensive line has got to stop the false starts. That's really going to kill them if this game continues like that.
They definitely have their work cut out for them and especially in the third quarter, because SWASU gets the ball back. They're going against the wind, and they're down by 2 scores. So SNU going to have to really hammer down and get some points going and get some momentum going and stop SWASU, because they're going to have all the momentum coming back out.
It's going to be a fun battle here in Bethany, Oklahoma. We'll be back here at SNUathletics.com with the second half underway. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Sideline reporter Cheyenne Reynolds with a hero for our Heroes Day. Cheyenne.
Hey guys, so yes, today's Heroes Day, so just doing a big thank you and welcome to all our military and service and first responders. So right here I have David, and David, what do you do for SNU?
I'm the director of the Vet Center, where I help all the veterans as they're transitioning out of the military into the civilian world through education, and I help them with whatever they need to be successful to make that transition.
That is so wonderful. Thank you so much for your service. Back to you guys.
Thank you, David, and all the heroes out there serving in our military and our first responders. A lot of respect going towards our heroes that serve on a daily basis and make our country a lot safer. Thank you, Cheyenne. As always, our faithful sideline reporter. SWASU now kicking off to SNU to start off this second half. Long kick out of the end zone. Out of bounds. SNU will start at the 25-yard line for this second half underway here. Down 21-7. Coach Lambert harped on it at the interview in our first half that there's a lot of mistakes that went on in the first half, and SNU's really got to corral them and correct them here and just limit those penalties that really stalled their drives.
Yeah, you're right, Connor. And right here, I mean, SNU's going to get the ball back. I thought that they were going to have to kick off, but they'll get the ball back to start the first half. They'll start the second half, and right now I'm just looking for them to try and get some offensive production going and limit the penalties. I'm sure Lambert gave them a good word on the penalties and how they're killing the drives for the Storm. So look to limit those penalties and get some production.
Absolutely, John. You want a nice even flow on both sides of the ball, and you can't really put points on the board if you keep going back for penalties. Spady on the keeper up the middle, finding a nice hole up the right side to about the 29-yard line for a gain of 4.
And you're right, Connor. I mean, now that they're going back into the win, they need to go back to what made them so successful in the first quarter, as well as against Monticello. Ground and pound with Spady and Olds. Try to march down this field, and I don't know why they went away from that in the second quarter with the win. I mean, yeah, with the win you want to pass a little bit more, but you also want to keep working with what is successful as Olds gets another big run.
Nice run up the gut to about the 31-yard line. About the 32-yard line. 3rd down and 3 coming up for SNU on this opening possession of the second half. SNU offense not looking to spud here. Really got to find something going here. Down 2 touchdowns. You want any sort of momentum you can get here, especially at home against a tough team against SWASU. Spady directing traffic here, getting the play call with LaFoon out wide right. Smith in the slot, and Olds to his left. Spady getting the call, trying to find someone who keeps the ball up the middle, trying to push the pile and get towards the first down marker, and I believe he's going to be about a yard short of the first down. We'll see where they give him the spot here.
That one's going to be really close.
And he will be about a half yard short of the first down at the 34.5-yard line.
Oh, they're going to go for it.
They're looking to go for it here. SNU's offense really pushing the pace here, trying to find it. Spady trying to push the pile.
I think he did.
Using that 6'5" frame, trying to extend the ball. We'll see if they give him the spot. And they do give him the spot. 1st down and 10 for the Crimson Storm. 2 for 2 on 4th downs are SNU. Able to connect here as they were over 0 of 5 on the season coming into this ball game, but now 2 of 2 on 4th down conversions.
2 of 3.
Gutsy play call here for Crimson Storm.
They're 2 of 3, Connor. They got that fake punt for their first conversion,
right.
And then they were stopped on that same drive on 4th down, and now that was their second.
Oh, you're right there, John. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. 1st down and 10 on the 35 for the Crimson Storm. Spady in the shotgun with Olds to his left, Surate to his right. Working with a fresh set of downs, sends Smith in motion behind him. Hands off to Olds up the middle, looking for something. The offensive line could not get a push there. No gain on the play for the Crimson Storm. Now it looks like they'll give him a yard. They're on the carry for Terrence Olds coming off the field there. Getting a lot of carries in production here is Olds. Olds on the day with 10 carries now for 62 yards. On 2nd and 9 for SNU with Ramos in the shotgun left to Spady. Hands off to Smith. A lot of room to lurk with on the left side. Stiff arming a man. Tackled down around the 43-yard line. Spot him officially at the 42. for the position of the ball. Now 3rd down and 3, back-to-back 3rd down and 3s for SNU, but now with more room to work with and able to open up the playbook here and just get some guys like Smith and Serrate involved in the offense. Substitution on the play now. Devin Brady subs in for Matthew Serrate. Possibly a lot more tight formation, trying to power it in there with big bodies and Carlson and Brady in the backfield with off to the left of the offensive line with Olds in the backfield with Spady. Smith coming in motion. Fakes the sweep. Spady rolling out with a man chasing him from behind. Rolling, throwing it out towards Brady. Can't make the grab on the sideline. 4th down and 3, but we got a penalty on the far sideline. Not sure who it's on. We'll see what the call is from our head official.
That's against SWOSU.
Penalty against SWOSU, but
it's a sideline warning.
Sideline warning for SWOSU. 4th down and 3 coming back up here for SNU.
Next time it's a sideline warning, it'll be a 15-yard penalty against SWOSU. So first one, just a warning. Second one will actually be a penalty.
SNU looking to elect a punt here. Again, just a dangerous situation. You got lucky on that 4th down when it's 4th and about a half yard. 4th down and 3 is a little different here on this side of the 50. So elect a punt here with Anguiano in the back ready to send the ball away. Snap back to Reese Carlson and on the direct snap trying to run up the middle.
And I believe
SWOSU saying he stopped short. And I believe you're right, John. I think he's about a half yard short of the 1st down. And he is a gutsy play call from the coaching staff of SNU. Although with the ball spot, it looks like he's at the first. Look, the ball's at the 1st down mark, so I'm not sure if he just been inches short because where the ball spot and where the 1st down was, it looked to be a 1st down.
Well, you're right, Connor, but I mean, they ran that play earlier, the direct snap on the punt for a fake. They did that once and caught SWOSU off guard. I think they were just ready for that one that time, and now SWOSU in great position with the wind and the momentum.
Henderson up the gut, trying to find something there up the middle for a minimal gain up to now about the 43, 44-yard line of SNU. 2nd down and long coming up for the Bulldogs. And Evans directing traffic. Man split out wide right, trips to the left in a pistol formation with Henderson behind him. Fakes a snap, looking left, throws, pass, bounces off the ground, 3rd down and long. That's the 2nd time he's thrown towards that same receiver on that same pass play, and it's just bounced in the dirt before the receiver could catch it. Evans really got to lock in on plays like that. He had man wide open. He's got to be able to hit him in the numbers. 3rd down and 10 coming up for the Bulldogs in great field position, but they can't do anything with it. I say the SNU defense gets a big win if they're able to get a stop here on 3rd down. Evans again directing traffic, shifts the formation of his wide receivers. Kind of a bunch formation up there on the left. And Henderson to his left, drops back to pass, looking right, throws right. Pass intercepted on the left side, and he's got a lot of room to work with. He's at the 30, the 20, 10, 5, and he will score. Touchdown for the Crimson Storm to bring them within 1-score game of the SWOSU Bulldogs. Dorian Harris with a great pick 6 for the Crimson Storm.
That's exactly what the Crimson Storm needed. Stop on defense, just add 6 points to that. We got a football game again.
Absolutely. It's getting rowdy up here in Bethany. The crowd going crazy. Dorian Harris caught that ball and saw nothing but daylight in the end zone. Touchdown SNU. Big break here for this SNU defense on 3rd and long. And Anguiano on for the kick to bring him within 7. Snap back, ball down, the kick is up, and it is good. 1 possession ball game now between the Storm and the Bulldogs as SNU capitalizes on the bad throw for a pick 6. Storm down 21-14 with 10:16 left in the 3rd. We'll be right back. Welcome back here to SNUathletics.com. Things getting a little rowdy here in Bethany, Oklahoma after the pick six by Dorian Harris, returning it over 50 yards for the score, bring SNU within a touchdown at 21-14. And just a great defensive play and awareness there from Dorian Harris, able to get the pick six.
Now these DBs, these safeties for the Crimson Storm, they have just been looks like Andy Lambert's play sheet kind of got away for him. It's now streaking down the sideline. He was sprinting down the sideline to get his play sheet.
One of his players able to streak down and get the play sheet and throwing some high fives, and there's a lot of jumping around. There's a lot of smiles on the sideline from Coach Lambert. A different attitude here from the sidelines and players on the field from when we left at the first half. Kick here from Anguiano. Kind of a short drop back stance there. He's just going to pooch this kick, and it's hanging in the air. SWOSU trying to corral it, and they do, as they call a fair catch around the 43-44 yard line, where SWOSU will set up shop now for their second possession of the second half.
That was a very dangerous position right there, as the fair catch was called, and the guy who called fair catch was actually tripped up.
Mm-hmm. It could have resulted pretty badly for the Bulldogs if SNU is able to possibly force a fumble if he doesn't make the catch cleanly and have great field position at the 44-yard line. But they're able to hold on, and Mark Evans will trot back onto the field after surrendering his 9th interception of the ball game, and the great interception return from Dorian Harris on the far sideline. That's just a tough throw to make from the far left hash all the way to the other side of the field. Just dangerous throw for the quarterback as Cartrell Henderson sums it up the gut for a solid gain of about 4 on the play. 2nd down and 6 coming up for the Bulldogs. Evans setting up back in the pistol. Trips out to the right in the pit with Henderson behind him. Possible edge blitz coming up on the right side from Carmouche and Noah Wells, but they come back to adjust the play and probably disguise a blitz here. We'll see what the play call is as Evans adjusts his offensive well. 5 seconds left on the play clock. He's got to get the snap off. He does. Handoff up the right side to Henderson's got a big hole to work with. Pushing Piles up to the 41-yard line of the Crimson Storm for a first down. And a flag coming in. Some extracurriculars going on between the Crimson Storm and the Bulldogs. We'll see what the call is here from our head official. Didn't quite get to see what went down while the flag came in. Probably some pushing and shoving going on. We'll see what our referee comes out with. And officials still conferring to get the right call here. And here's our referee. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Bulldogs. And I'll send them back. I believe it's 15 yards on that penalty there, John.
And I believe that's actually after the play, so the first down will still stand for SWOSU, but it'll just be set back way back there.
So they're dropped all the way back to behind their original line of scrimmage at the 43-yard line. And just try to work something here. Fresh set of downs, though, for the Bulldogs, so kind of back where they started there after the good first down run from Cartrell Henderson. And like we said earlier, John, those penalties can really stall some momentum drives, so we'll see if SNU is able to capitalize off the penalty here from SWOSU on this drive with the fresh set of downs.
Well, now it seems that SWOSU is committing the penalties, so SNU already starting to fix some problems. Now they just need to keep fixing that problem the whole way through.
.9:20 left here in the third quarter. Evans receives the snap, hands off to Henderson. Big hole up the left side, and he had a wide open lane out the left side. He was able to keep his footing and balance for first down and a lot more, but he's slipped up, and 2nd down and 1 now for the Bulldogs after the big gain there from Henderson. Trying to find something here. This is SNU defense trying to lock down here and capitalize after the pick six on the previous possession, get the offense back out on the field. Evans, handoff again up to Henderson. Just 4 straight runs here as Henderson slips again and gets tackled cleanly by Noah Wells, a freshman, out at the 39-yard line. So Cartrell Henderson really working to pound this SNU defense, trots up the field, and Kenneth Marty comes onto the field to replace him after Cartrell Henderson gets 4 straight carries of more than 8 yards there on their carries.
Well, if Henderson's going to have success like that, I mean, there's really no need to do anything else.
Marty up the middle, just continuing to pound this SNU defense up the gut on a first down run. Second down is short now, just back-to-back 8+ yard runs. I mean, this is just getting ugly if SNU's not able to get a stop here and plug these holes that SWOSU keeps running through.
And you're right, Connor. I mean, right there, right up the gut. I mean, on basically 5 plays in a row with the exact same result. So SNU going to have to learn how to plug the holes right there in the line of scrimmage, or else it's just going to be SWOSU running all over them all day long. And right there, just
Marty
plugging
up
up
the
the
gut.
holes.
Marty up the gut, gets the first down after getting stopped by a couple of SNU defenders. Noah Wells and company trying to make some headway here and lock in on these runs. They're just running right up the middle. Nothing too fancy here in the formation. Just an unbalanced line in the pistol and just throwing it right at them. Evans adjusting the play to counter SNU. Trips out to the right. Marty behind Evans. Hands off up the middle, back to Marty. And just continue to pound away. There's just big holes up and off on both sides of the offensive line for SWOSU. Marty really taking advantage here of the space he's been given.
And even though they have the win here, SWOSU's saying, hey, we have the momentum. We're just going to keep running it. We don't need to pass. But along with that, as long as they can keep pounding, that opens up the play-action pass very wide open. So if they want to go ahead and run the play-action, they would probably have it wide open.
Evans, back to pass, first pass in this possession. DJ Jones trying to split defenders. Tackled along the left side for a minimal gain, but just enough for a first down at the 11-yard line. First down and 10, got to make it to the 1-yard line. But I'm thinking SWOSU's looking for the end zone here this close. It looks like could be 4-down territory with SNU trying to get the momentum back on their side. Evans back in the pistol with Henderson back in the game behind him. Trips out to the right with Jones in the slot, a very dangerous receiver here in the red zone. Handoff up the middle to Henderson. Big hole, one-on-one matchup, pushing defenders, and he will score. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
And just like that, the life has been sucked out of the Crimson Storm faithful as they were looking to get back in this game after a pick six, and then basically SWOSU just beat them up the whole way through.
Yeah, Southwestern here, you look how they kind of moved the ball up here. It was Kenneth Marty and Cartrell Henderson really pushing the ball up the middle, and just nothing too fancy. It's just a snap. It's a snap back here from SWOSU. Extra point is up. Low kick, but still good. SWOSU now goes up a full 2 possessions at 28-14. SNU down 14-28. We'll be right back here with 5:57 left in the third. SNU trying to answer back on offense when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back here to SNUathletics.com. SWOSU marches down the field with Kenneth Marty and company with Cartrell Henderson able to bust it up the gut for an 11-yard gain for a touchdown to put SWASU back up 28-14 now. SNU kind of trying to answer back here from these touchdown drives from SWASU. Their touchdown of this second half came on a pick six from Dorian Harris on the far sideline for 64 yards. We'll see if the offense can answer here and get back into this can stay in this ball game here with Derek Gillis and Matthew Serrate back to return for SNU. We'll see if Peterson is able to keep it in bounds here. His kick is streaming back, and yeah, we're not going to have any returns here today, John.
Yeah, not with the wind blowing as hard as it is and with them kicking that way with that kind of kicker. No way.
Yeah, the winds, as you said earlier, howling around 30 miles an hour from south to northeast. It's just just doesn't really open up a lot of opportunities for teams to return here against kickers like Peterson that are just able to kick it pretty far already, and just with the help of the wind, it's just no chance.
Exactly. So the Crimson Storm need to come out and they need to find some confidence moving forward. And as I said, the last drive for SWASU ended up with every single run averaging at least 7 yards a carry. So
yeah, it was
all the way down the field.
It's pretty damaging in that front seven. Spady handing off to the right side to Smith, trying to find a hole, dragged down looked like a face mask. There was as Smith was being brought to the ground, but no call. Loss of 4 yards on the play for the Crimson Storm. Clock continuing to run here with about 5.5 left in the third. SNU trying to answer, playing decent football here so far in this second half. I like what I'm seeing, John. Just got to be able to click and not move backwards on these plays. Spady with Smith out wide left. Twins to the right and Olds to his right. Sends Arrington in motion, hands off to Olds up the middle, runs into Carlson in the backfield. Not sure if there's a miscommunication on the formation or what have you on the play, but another loss of yard, or gain of 1 yard for Terrence Olds. Third down and long for SNU. Ball to 21, got to reach the 35 to keep this drive alive.
Now, Spady, if I'm Coach Andy Lambert, I'm thinking a short slant across the middle to Carlson, because right there in the middle, they know what's coming because of just the direction of the field that they're going in and past plays, but you might want to open up the field just a little bit if you're Coach Andy Lambert.
Passing defense here for as Spady looks a nice little shovel pass to Terrence Olds. Got an opening on the right side. Trying to move some piles, staying in bounds, getting dragged down, face mask. And it'll be 15 more yards for the Crimson Storm. A bonehead play for the Bulldogs. Give another long possession here for SNU. Just a nice break as Terrence Olds was not going to reach the first down. He was about 7 yards short. And just, like I said, a bonehead play on the sideline, which is going to cost the Bulldogs here.
That'll cost them the first down, and so Crimson Storm will maintain possession. But right there, Terrence Olds got up, and he was holding on to that shoulder. He was holding on to that to his collar of the shoulder pads and jersey, and he looked to be in a little bit of pain. So might want to be looking at Terrence Olds from now.
And we'll keep you updated with our reporter Cheyenne Reynolds to see what's happening down as this game goes on. We'll come to you in a bit, Cheyenne. No worries. We're still here for you. Don't worry. First down and 10 now for the Crimson Storm around the 43-yard line. Spady in the backfield with Serrate to his right and Ramos to his left. Carlson in motion. Spady hands off to Serrate, trying to find something up the middle. It's a gain of about 1 on the play. Not much going. Bulldogs really snuffed out that play there up the middle.
Now, that would be a big loss for the Crimson Storm if Terrence Olds isn't able to return to the field. He has his helmet on, and it looks like he's fine, but he had a couple of trainers looking at him. So if he's unable to return to the field, that's a big blow for the rest of this game with just under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, it could be possible stinger. We'll keep you all updated as this game progresses here. Off to the left, Ramos in the ball game with next to Spady. Serrate, Hicks out to the right. Serrate in motion. Fakes the handoff. Spady up the middle, trying to find something. Had a bit of an opening on the right, but gets tackled from behind. A gain of 1 on the play. Third down and 8 for SNU. As Terrence Olds checks back into the ball game for Ramos. Spady receiving instruction from the sideline, trying to find something here. You know, a possible short slant or a nice screenplay could probably work well. Just trying to keep those passes short with the wind howling right at your face. You can't take too many chances, but in 3rd and 8, with the defense really expecting to run, you got to look to pass here. Carlson in motion. Spady fakes the handoff, trying to find someone. Has Olds in the screens formation, but defenders flying, and Olds, the pass just a little too far in front of him. 4th down and 8, and SMU will look to punt here. And you could at the 45-yard line.
You could tell that SWASU was searching that play out and sniffing it out. They were ready to make the tackle as they let a screen pass in the first quarter bite them for 60 yards and a touchdown by Terrence Olds. So seeing that, they were thinking, yeah, no way that's happening again.
SMU's got to really lock in here with DJ Jones set to return for SWASU. As you said, an All-American returner here for the Bulldogs. It's Anguiano's punt up and away, and a low knuckleball kick bouncing around the 25-yard line. It's an SNU play around the 25, and SWASU will set up shop officially at the 26. And just, John, what do you like from SNU so far in this second half?
Well, coming out, they've really cut down the penalties, and they went out and on that first or second defensive series and came out with a pick 6. Right here, I'm just looking for more of the same on the defense, but they've got to fill the holes running the football because SWASU is just having their way in the trenches. That offensive line is pushing back, and they're gaining 7 yards a carry just in this quarter.
Yeah, I think Mark Evans is kind of adjusting the game plan here, seeing some holes in SNU defense, looking to hand off as he does up the middle to Marty, and just trucking more defenders. Dorian Harris on the tackle there for SNU, gain of 3 for Kenneth Marty. Just adding to the run total here for SWASU is there now to 125 yards on the ground and 170 through the air. As Evans is 15 of 27 passing with 1 interception for a touchdown. Has returned for a touchdown, and Evans back in the pistol with Marty behind him. Hands off up the middle to Marty, trying to scoot past some defenders, gets a couple yards. Solid gain, 3rd down and about 5 coming up for the Bulldogs here, 3rd down and 4.
Now SNU desperately needs a defensive stop. It doesn't matter when exactly it is and where on the football field it is, but they just need a stop in order to set back up on offense.
1:40 left here in the 3rd quarter. SNU could really use a stop here, John. Down 2 possessions. Don't have a lot of time to work with here with 4th quarter quickly approaching. Evans back to pass, looking left, throws left. Receiver falls down. 4th down and short coming up now for the Bulldogs. And what do you like to do here, John? You got a 2-touchdown lead, but it looks like they're going to punt here. How do you like this decision?
Oh, this is a great decision by SWASU. You need to go ahead and punt it away. It's not worth risking. It's not worth risking that kind of field position right now. I mean, just under 90 seconds to go in the quarter. Go ahead and punt it away. Turn the field position back into your favor, because I was saying it during the break that all SNU really needed to do in this 3rd quarter was survive. And other than a touchdown exchange by both teams, it's not really much of a difference from what we left at halftime.
On a great spiral kick, sending Martin back around the 6-yard line as that ball drops, and there's just a booming kick there from Dalton Jackson. Those bright yellow sneakers, I'm sure, had something to do with it. We're going to take a quick break here at SNUathletics.com. We'll be right back with SNU offense on the field. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the action here at SNUathletics.com. SNU setting up shop at about the 7-yard line. A shot of their own goal. Spady sends a man in motion, hands off to Olds up the left side for a decent gain up to about the 11-yard line of SNU, trying to just further push them out of the shadow of their own goal and just mount something here on this drive with just under a minute left in the 3rd quarter.
Now, as I was saying, Connor, earlier, I mean, all SNU really needed to do in this in this third quarter was survive, and the lead has not. I mean, the lead has basically not changed except for a couple of touchdown exchange. But if they are, 2 touchdowns, if they can get their offense moving, SNU has plenty shot to tie up this ball game.
I think you're right, John. Plenty of time left here. Spady in the shotgun. Hands up to Olds. We got a flag down on the play. Could be a false start penalty here for SNU. And it is. It'll be a 5-yard penalty here. Second down repeats. So Coach Lambert cannot be happy with that. That is now the 8th penalty of the ball game for SNU. Had 7 in the first half. Had played a clean second half up until this point with that penalty.
Yeah, and you're right, Connor. I mean, with the penalties, when the penalties stack up, especially against this SNU team, it just kills their chances. So they need to keep playing well. And there's going to be another penalty here. I'm not exactly sure why.
We'll see what the call is here from our head official.
Looks like it's against SWASU.
And we'll see what our referee comes out with.
And it is against SWASU.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against SWASU Bulldogs.
I think they got a little bit of a taunting call in there, Connor. A little bit of mouth talk.
I think you're right, John. Maybe not sure if it's from the sideline or on the field, but whatever it was, it worked for SNU. First down at their own 20. A lot better room to work with than at their own 5. So Spady and company setting up shop now at the 20-yard line after the penalty. Olds to his right and Smith out wide right. Trying to make something happen on this drive now with 15 seconds left. He's going to hand it off to Surratt on a jet sweep with the left side, and another penalty in on the play. And penalty came from the far sideline, and Jacob Spady's pointing towards the SWASU Bulldogs. Could be back-to-back penalties for SWASU. Hands to the face again for the Bulldogs, and just more yards coming in for SNU.
So a 15-yard penalty after 15-yard penalty. That works out great for SNU moving forward.
Absolutely, John. SWASU's really given this last minute of the quarter to SNU with just some bonehead plays that come up, especially on the last possession with Terrence Olden with the face mask, and now back-to-back 15-yard penalties. SNU might be able to take a shot to end this quarter or just run it out with 5 seconds left, and I think they are going to run this one out. We'll head to the fourth quarter now. SNU down 14-28, trying to make a dent here in this score when we go to the fourth quarter. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the action here at SNUathletics.com. Fourth quarter just about to start underway here. Spady in shotgun. Hands off to Olds and slips up before he get back to the line of scrimmage. 2-yard loss on the play for Terrence Olds. I'm not sure he might have gotten a lot more yards if he had stayed on his feet there, John. He may have just gotten back to the line of scrimmage if he stays on his feet. Spady and company setting up now with a 2nd and 12 at their own 35-yard line. Trying to mount something here after bonehead penalties from SWOSU. Spady on the keeper on the right side. He's got some nice blockers, got some opening. And he gets trucked out of bounds. He's heading out. And I believe some flags come in for a late hit out of bounds. So SWOSU really doing some gutsy calls and some dumb things here on this possession.
And, yeah, that would be a great way to describe it, as we got some trainers coming out. But, yeah, there was a big hit late on Spady. Out of bounds clearly. So another 15-yard penalty, and things are getting pretty chippy out there. Is Spady, I can't quite see where he is, but he's most certainly down.
He got hit up high, but as going out of bounds, he may have run into something or slipped on something. We can't really tell what happened on that far sideline. And there's a couple players taking a knee there. You see Trevor Smith, Air Force quarterback, very good teammate in Trevor Smith. I remember a couple weeks ago, I believe it was against SAU, Trevor Smith was coming in for a block as Spady was running on a play out of bounds, and Smith absolutely laid out the guy that was coming to tackle Spady as he was running out of bounds. And it was just a great play. Just shows you what kind of teammates they have here at SNU, the respect they have for their quarterback in Jacob Spady.
Right. And Spady's sitting up, so looks like he might be okay.
I think he may have gotten the wind knocked out of him, because that was a very, very big hit there on their far sideline.
So I'm actually, Connor, to be perfectly honest, I'm either thinking lay hit out of bounds or maybe targeting, because Spady's up, but I mean that hit was definitely high and aimed right towards his upper.
Coach, sorry,
up
go ahead,
towards.
John.
So I mean, I may be thinking possibly targeting.
Could be. Coach Lambert's very animated on that far sideline, running all the way over for his quarterback. You never want to get a big hit on your quarterback, John. It's especially one is such a great leader and great player in Jacob Spady here for his team as he's being helped off the sideline. Not sure what could be injured, but we'll keep you updated as we progress here in this ball game.
Well, this is a big hit for SNU because, like I said, the game must go on. We have almost a full fourth quarter to go, so we get the backup quarterback in here right now. That'd be number 2, DeAndre Sackreeder. Not exactly sure what the penalty was.
I think they may use Alec LaFoon here coming in talking with his offensive line. LaFoon may get the call here to come in as a backup, but we'll see what Coach Lambert decides here.
And there is a personal foul against SWOSU. However, it's not targeting. It's just a personal foul late hit.
Yeah, you're right, John. It's just a couple of bonehead plays. SWOSU's penalties have really given SNU this whole drive. I don't understand what's kind of locked into these players here in this second half, but it's just not been smart football at all.
45 yards just based off the 15-yard penalties, and that's given them the majority of their yards. So 95 yards off 7 penalties for SWOSU.
The senior Alec LaFoon in at quarterback for the Crimson Storm, a very dynamic player in his time here at SNU. On the option on the left side, got a lot of room to work with on the left side, making some men miss, tackled out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Great pickup for Alec LaFoon, hopping over defenders. He comes back onto the field.
That's a big play. It's exactly what SNU needed for their morale. A big play by Alec LaFoon, who would move to receiver after Spady basically outplayed him in practice. But Alec LaFoon coming back in and playing some good backup quarterback and getting a big play for his team.
That's kind of what he does best, moving with his legs and making smart decisions as a very experienced quarterback. And Alec LaFoon coming in, directing traffic here, and lone man in the backfield. See what they call here. Sending Trevor Smith in motion. Fakes the handoff up the left side. Faking to the left side. Coming back to him. Gets up to about the 31-yard line for a gain of 1 for LaFoon off the quarterback keeper. I think here for SWOSU, they're kind of expecting LaFoon to keep it when he's alone in the backfield. So SNU, he's going to really key on these blocks or try to get some nice throws here and some routes to open up for Alec LaFoon to be able to work with the football.
Alec LaFoon is a much better runner than he is a passer, and that's mainly because of a shoulder injury that has sustained and shoulder problems that he's dealt with, as well as knee problems, dealing with a couple of ACL injuries. But Alec Laffoon, I mean, he can certainly run. It's just when it comes to whenever SNU may need to pass the ball, that might be a bit of a problem.
So we're going to take a timeout here with the timeout on the field. SNU down 14-28, 2nd and 9 coming up for SNU when we come back. Welcome back here to SNUathletics.com. Going to throw it to Cheyenne Reynolds here. Cheyenne, what do you got for us?
Well, Jacob Spady's on the sideline just sitting. We've seen trainers come in and out, just keep evaluating him. He's not really holding anything, nor, just cushioning like a part on his shoulder or anything like that. So we may be able to see him come back in. We may just see him rest for the couple of minutes. So.
All right, thank you, Cheyenne. We'll keep you updated as this game progresses. As Alec Laffoon is able to get the ball up the gut to about the 27-yard line of the Bulldogs. Send up a 3rd down and 5. See what SNU's got here. They've gone with 3 or 4 straight runs here now with Alec Laffoon at quarterback. We'll see what they come out with here. This 3rd and 5 at the 27. Got to find something here, John, and make way here early in this 4th quarter. Laffoon sends Smith in motion, takes the handoff, keeping it up the middle, and he's just getting stuffed in the backfield for about a 1-2-yard loss on the play. 4th down and 6 coming up for the Crimson Storm.
And now with where the positioning of the field and exactly the kind of situation that they are in, I would expect SMU to go for it right here.
I think you're right, John. They may have to look to spread it out and have Alec Laffoon air it out a little bit here. He's got an advantage. He's got a decent arm to be able to get the ball across the field and just do all the right things. Alec Laffoon, a very patient, experienced player. And his men in formation, Carlson and Smith out left. Sarek comes in motion. And off to Sarek, and got a whistle on the field. I'm not sure what the calls we have. We have to have a timeout on the field. Timeout SNU. Be their second one of the half. Come back to haunt. See what happens here. 4th down and 6. Come back here to SNUathletics.com. Welcome back here to SNUathletics.com. After the timeout, SNU setting up shop to go for it here on 4th down. I think Laffoon may have to look to throw it here. Wants to convert. The Bulldogs really snuffed out the runs here last couple of plays. Laffoon with Olds to his right. Sends Sarek in motion. Fakes the handoff, running up the middle, stopped by his own blocker. And it'll be a turnover on downs for the Crimson Storm. In the 4th quarter, SNU down. SNU really just trying to connect here. Got to find a stop on defense or possibly a turnover if Mark Evans chooses to throw. But up 2 touchdowns, I think Evans and company are just going to look to keep the ball on the ground and milk this clock away for the victory.
And why would they throw it, Connor? I mean, they got the momentum, they got the defense. I mean, they've got the offense that's just been pounding and at them in the second half. I mean that stop that SWASU had. I mean that was just mainly on the injury dealt to Jacob Spady, which we're being confirmed is now a neck injury of some sort. So
I believe so. He got hit up pretty high, so it could be somewhere in that area if he's not holding a part of his body. So we'll look to keep the people updated as we find out more information as this game progresses. 11:07 left in the fourth quarter. Bulldogs with the 1st and 10 after the turnover on downs from SNU. Evans in the backfield in the pistol with thrown out to his right, trying to find something on the right side. Amiji trying to find a way up the right side, gets up to about the 35, 36-yard line for a solid gain on 1st down of 9. And 2nd down and 1 coming up from the 36-yard line. Evans adjusting the play call now. SNU doing the same, trying to adjust the defense. A little more press coverage there on the outside. From SNU, handoff up the middle to Henderson. Big hole up the left side. Just scooting past defenders, still on his feet at the left side. He's at the 30, 25-20. Drug out of bounds at about the 19, 20-yard line of the Crimson Storm. So Bulldogs coming out with a stellar game plan, just confusing the SNU defense, looking for pass, but instead they run up the left side, up the middle for a big gain, for a big 1st down at the 20-yard line of SNU.
There's screen pass going on right there.
Up the right side to about the 14-yard line of SNU. Pickup of 6 on the play. 2nd down and 4 coming up for the Bulldogs. Henderson on that previous play, a run of 45 yards up to SNU 20. Evans back in the pistol with Marty behind him. And Cartrell Henderson now up 16 yards, 16 carries, 73 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And Marty behind him with 10 carries, 48 yards. Up the left side, looking for more. Third down and 4 now coming up for the Bulldogs, trying to continue to push this lead with 9:15 left in the ball game. SNU got to find a stop here on 3rd down. Late man on the field, timeout on the field. SNU will now burn their final timeout, and Coach Lambert can't be happy with that. SWASU pressing to score. SNU looking to stop them here on 3rd down during the timeout. John, what do you look here for if you're SNU here on this 3rd down?
Right here I'm looking for SNU to just anchor down, and just try to stop them, because in the beginning of the game they had 2 big stops on the goal line. So it's all about their mentality right here, and that bend but don't break defense that comes into play. And they've broken a couple of times, but right here is where it matters. I mean, there's still a good chance for SNU to come back, but they need to stop them right here.
Absolutely, John. It's a crucial time to get a stop here with 9:10 left in the ballgame. Down 2 scores in your shout of your own red zone. You've got to find a way to get a stop. On the day for SWASU, now up to 174 rushing yards. They look to just ground and pound. It's been very balanced, with 174 rushing and 184 yards passing. So the air could really beat you either way if SNU is not careful to lock in here on this 3rd down. Evans back in the pistol with Marty behind him. Handoff up the middle. Marty with a lot of room trying to find the 1st down. Think he may be just enough for the 1st down. And he is 1st and goal at the 10-yard line for the Bulldogs. And I think if you're the Bulldogs, you just keep milking away this clock here. Just pound the ball up the middle. Evans trying to draw SNU off sides. Adjust the play call. I would expect another run here. They haven't been able to stop them. SNU's got to be thinking and expecting a run here. Evans hands off up the left side. No gain on the play. Stopped at the 10-yard line. Good open tackle there for the Crimson Storm. All right.
That was number 37, Josh Jordan, on the stop.
Josh Jordan was a key player for SNU last week against Monticello in the victory. Just some great heads-up plays and pass breakups along with the rest of that defensive back core for SNU. Henderson stumbles again, getting the ball and stopped for a minimal 1-yard gain. 3rd down and goal from the 9-yard line coming up for the Bulldogs. Another 3rd down here coming up for the Bulldogs. SNU got to be able to make a stand here and keep them out of the end zone. 7:40 left. That clock continues to tick and stay on the side of the Bulldogs here. Bulldogs on the day 4 of 10 on 3rd down. Back to pass is Evans, rolling out to his left, looking left, has a man trying to find the end zone, stops short at the 2-yard line. 4th down and goal now for the Bulldogs. And we'll see if they elect to go for it. With that power running game, I don't see why you don't try to go for it. And SNU's got to be ready for that and got to plug these holes here on the defensive side.
And it looks like they will go for it, Connor. However, I personally wouldn't agree with this. I'd play it safe and go up by 3 scores just with a field goal. But if they want to go for it with this kind of running game, let them go for it.
Evans calling for it. Players slacking off. DJ Jones on that slot receiver. They got to find him and cut him off on a possible slant route. Evans hands up the left side to Henderson, trying to find the goal. And he will score. Touchdown number 4 for Cartrell Henderson. So the Bulldogs now go up 34-14. Look to make it a full 21-point lead here late in this 4th quarter. 6:37 left. Just ground and pound has been the name of the game in this second half for the Bulldogs, John.
Yeah, and right there, that was just a hard run by Henderson. Like you said, it was 4 touchdowns on the day. The only one that he does not own is Jones's earlier in the game. And so, Henderson having himself a great game, just bumbling through and bouncing off tackles, and he's got a great head of steam as he runs. But now SNU, a tough spot.
Absolutely. SWASU now takes a 21-point lead in the 4th quarter with 6:37 left. SNU trying to answer when they get the ball back when we come back here at SNUathletics.com. Welcome back here at SNUathletics.com. As you can see, SNU down now 35-14 off the 2-yard run from Cartrell Henderson for his 4th touchdown of the ball game. As SWASU is now up to 180 yards rushing, 192 yards passing, and just a fantastic offensive performance. They run off 64 plays for 372 total yards and averaging about 6 yards a play at 5.81. SNU on the other side has 154 yards rushing, with 67 yards passing, and only 2 of 10 completions on their passing routes. So just the throwing game for SNU has just not been in sync on this afternoon. Peterson off the kick, very low squib kick to Crimson Storm, and they fumble the kick, and I believe the Bulldogs say they have it. I think they do. Some extracurriculars going on, and the Crimson Storm come up with the football around the 40-yard line. Bit of a scrum there from some SNU and SWASU players. It'll be SNU football at the 40-yard line. So a break there for the Crimson Storm, not fumbling the short kickoff, and they'll start off at the 41-yard line.
That was number 47, Dakota Chandler, the 6'2", 245 junior fullback out of Deer Park, Texas. And he was getting ready to run before he had it, and it was an awkward kickoff. I mean, it was short, and you're thinking, was it a squib or was it an onside? Don't know, but Chandler just couldn't quite get a hold on him. He's lucky that he got it out.
Absolutely, John. It's a good break there for SNU. Back to the ball game, Alec LaFoon and company in the backfield, and the shotgun sends Arrington in motion behind him. Hands off to Olds up the middle. Big hole up the middle for Terrence Olds. Going past defenders, dragged down at the 41-yard line of the Bulldogs. Gain of 20 on the play for Terrence Olds. Terrence Olds having a nice day running the ball here today for the Crimson Storm. He's now up to, I believe, 80 yards on the day. Rushing LaFoon off the fake quarterback keeper off the right side. Gets stuffed for a loss of about 5 yards on the play.
That was number 57, A.J. Dawson, the 6'2", 245 redshirt freshman out of Frisco, Texas. I mean, he snuffed that out from the beginning and just brought LaFoon down. That's not easy to do, to bring down Alec LaFoon when he's all by himself.
Absolutely, he's a very shifty player. Been very dynamic. Excuse me, I'm trying to get my words out here today. Alec LaFoon just trying to connect here, but now with the 2nd and 15 after the big run by Olds, got to try to find something here to keep this drive alive with 5:20 left in the ball game. Martin in motion, LaFoon out to the right with the option. Electing not to pitch there and gets a big hit at the 42-yard line. Gain of 3 on the play. 3rd down and 12 coming up for the Crimson Storm. Just trying to find something here. LaFoon getting instruction from the sideline. We'll look to update you here on some scores around the Great American Conference. Some tight battles were going on earlier in the ball game between Ouachita Baptist and Southern Arc in an overtime battle. Waiting to see how that game turned out when it comes to LaFoon rolling out right, looking to pass, gets nearly tackled in the backfield, escapes up the right side, able to get some positive yardage back up to about the 36, 37-yard line. And be 4th down and long coming up for the Crimson Storm in some kind of gray area territory, whether you punt the ball away or you go for it on 4th down. But down 3 touchdowns with 4 minutes left, you might as well get desperate and go for it, John.
And you're right, Connor. I mean, at this point, you basically don't have a choice. With only 4 minutes left, down by 3, you gotta do whatever you can to win. So, I mean, even whenever it seems bleak, SNU will try to make good and go for it.
LaFoon sends Martin in motion, rolling out to the left side. I think looking to throw, gets escape from one defender and just darts out of bounds around the 36-yard line for a 1-yard gain on the play. Turnover on downs for SNU with just under 4 minutes left to play. So SNU on the day started off really strong here, John, able to strike back after SWOSU opened up 7-0, but have been outscored now 28-7 since they tied the ball game up at 7. What do you make from the effort here?
Well, it's a really good effort by the team, by the Crimson Storm and by SWOSU. It's just that the Crimson Storm just couldn't quite hanker down and stop the Bulldogs from that big rushing attack, as we see another example of right here. But I mean, just the rushing attack by SWOSU was very, I mean, for lack of a better term, gutting the Crimson Storm front 7, and just unable to come away with it.
Exactly. Now we got some subs in here. Update here for you. Ouachita Baptist able to get the victory in the upset over Southern Arkansas, 40-37. I believe in double overtime. And Northwestern Oklahoma State and Oklahoma Baptist. And a tough battle heading into the start of the fourth quarter with Oklahoma Baptist down 48-35 against Northwestern. So just a tight game, nice high-scoring games here in the GAC. New quarterback and running backs in for the Bulldogs, continue to try to pressure this SNU defense as this game winds down. Tyler Marr, the 6'3" redshirt freshman from Beggs, Oklahoma, in for the Bulldogs. And at running back now for the Bulldogs as well. I believe that is number 33, Kwame Tate, the 5'8" senior out of Elgin, Oklahoma. Just trying to get some game experience here going forward here throughout this contest. Pass out to the left side is complete. Stiff arming the defender and pushing Piles up for another first down up to about the 36-yard line of SNU. Now, John, it's been a nice performance here. We've seen a lot of good spurts here from the SNU offense, be able to get some things in motion, but, you know, in the first half, those penalties really locked and kind of did them in as this game went on, as we see another penalty marker down here on the field. We'll see what the call is here from our official.
Now this one's going to be going up against the Crimson Storm. It caused a neutral zone infraction, so offsides on the Crimson Storm, and it'll push SWASU up 5 more yards here at the 2-minute mark.
A 5-yard penalty here against SNU. Just another penalty. 1st and 5 here for the Bulldogs. Next up for the Crimson Storm, with just under 2 minutes left, we'll look to see them do battle next week at Alva against Northwest Oklahoma State at 4 o'clock. Should be a fun battle against the Rangers of Northwest Oklahoma State. Ouachita Baptist takes on Arkansas Monticello at Monticello. Arkansas Tech travels to Durant to take on Southeastern. And a big battle between Southern Arkansas and Henderson State, both teams around the top of the conference. Play here is Tyler Marr trying to find something. Picked off on the left side. Intercepted again by the Crimson Storm defense. So the backup, Tyler Marr, comes in and throws a wobbly throw against the wind and just lobbed it up there for the SNU defense to take away.
That was Josh Jordan on the pick, number 37. And Crimson Storm will regain the ball with 1:08 to go. So Coach Andy Lambert will just try to get as much offensive production as he can as the clock winds down.
I was saying just some good competition around the GAC this weekend, and next weekend should be very, very interesting. Very interesting down between Southern Arkansas and Henderson State. Just two teams around the top of the conference. Southern Ark just got their second loss of the season against Ouachita Baptist in a double overtime battle in Arkadelphia. And they'll be traveling back to Arkadelphia and against Henderson State this time, so look to have more luck. In Henderson State still trying to reel off that loss last week, and we'll see how they perform this week against Arkansas Monticello, who's towards the bottom of the conference, a team the SNU beat fairly handily last week. SNU offense, Terrence Olds nice on the screenplay, got a big hole up the right side, but defenders chase him down, and another penalty on the field. My goodness.
That's going to be a holding call on one of the linemen for the Crimson Storm. I looked down there. I think it's actually number 91 of the Crimson Storm. That's Jackson Starling. No, excuse me, that's not 91. That's I think that was John Clark, actually, number 61.
You don't hear too many penalties coming towards Big John Clark, a very experienced man here for SNU football. And we'll be against SNU with 58 seconds left here in this contest. Just not what you want to see from your team's performance here down the stretch of a ball game. You're just trying to close out the ball game. It's well out of your hands at this point, John. You just want to try to click and get some things going offensively to give you some good notes to hang your hat on towards the end of the ball game. Well,
so Al Clafoon is drawing back. He's actually almost taken down. Just goes over number 15, Reese Carlson's head, just right over his arms. 33 seconds to go, second down and 25 for the Crimson Storm.
So SMU just trying to work things out here with 33 seconds left here in this ball game. Lafone and company trying to make something happen here. Throws out right towards Carlson. Good catch on the right side. Moving defenders. A big hit out of bounds. Lee Carlson trucked a couple of defenders. A big body is Carlson to be able to move some piles. Well, big third down here with 3rd and 12. Trying to get something going here with now 26 seconds left in the ball game. So John, next week SNU travels out to Alva to take on Northwest Oklahoma State. What do you look for in that ball game for SNU to go forward if they're not able to go with Spady?
Well, right now, if they're unable to go with Spady, it's going to be very difficult for him because Alec Lafone, I mean, as great a runner as he is, that shoulder injury limits him in his ability to throw the football as the time's going to wind down here on our game, and SNU is going to come away with another loss. But it's going to be tough for SNU because they got to go up against a very high offense in the Rangers, and right now they're beating Oklahoma Baptist by 18 points, or excuse me, by 13 points in the fourth quarter. So it's going to be tough for the Crimson Storm, but I mean they got to find that offensive consistency, and if Spady's able to go, it's going to be a much better effort for the Crimson Storm.
I think you're right, John. He was very good in orchestrating the offense here. Just the condition here really limited what the offense could do here for Jacob Spady and company. Just balls were just a little off target, even just the short ones. It was altered from either the wind conditions or whatever may have affected them, or the pressure of the defense from. Excuse me. There's pressure of the defense from SWASU. I'm having more trouble with my words here as the day goes on. I'm not sure what may have happened. But, yeah, just the pressure here from the defensive line of SWASU is really troubling for Jacob Spady and company. I think they'll look to perfect that as next week goes on with Coach Lambert and company really drilling into his players.
And you're right, Connor. I mean, this is just one of those tough games. I mean, nothing seemed to be going right for the Crimson Storm. The penalties, obviously, in the first half, the penalties just killed him, and then in the second half, it was all about the rushing scheme by SWASU, who was able to just have its way with the front seven of the Crimson Storm. So I mean, like, there's a lot of good things that can come out of this. Like, the Crimson Storm looked great at times. They scored all of their touchdowns were scored going into the wind. So I mean, there's a lot of good to come out of this loss. However, I mean, they've got another big test going to Alva in a hostile environment at Northwestern. So it's going to be tough for the Crimson Storm. Hopefully Spady can get back on the field. So the Crimson Storm, I think they'll be good going forward.
I think you're right, John. It should be an interesting battle here going forward in Alva, Oklahoma against Northwest Oklahoma State. SWASU takes the victory 35-14. I'm Connor McKenzie for all of us here at SNUathletics.com. Tanner Stiles, our faithful producer. Glade Pittenger, our cameraman. David Noblet, our boss. My man John Hale over here. And Cheyenne Reynolds, our sideline reporter for SNUathletics.com. We'll see you next time.